Well, good evening, everybody, and all the crypto faithful. Welcome once again to another edition of Crypto Therapy. My name is Red Baron. Thank you very much for joining us. We've been off for quite a while here because I've been doing a lot of back end work with the Discord, getting some marketing done, and helping my son with his website and some other stuff. So, been a busy week. I've been watching the market. It's just been much of the same. So, as the title card says, when is the damn manipulation ever gonna end? Well, spoiler alert, we're getting close. We're getting close. So we saw last night, we saw some things that were going on in the market where we started to see some jutters. We started to see some aggressive moves, some gaps in the candles, and that's usually the first indicators that things are starting to make a move. So give me just a couple of seconds here. Let me kill the mic. Let me go ahead and get a little marketing stuff out on Twitter and everything like that. We'll go ahead and we will begin the show tonight. Okay, thanks, gang. Appreciate it. Always got to have a little bit of radio silence where I go ahead and notify the world and send out the Twitters and the tweets and the Facebooks and the Telegrams and all that stuff. It's just part of social media and part of that's how you become popular. That's how you stay popular. So it's just kind of course, doing course. So how's everybody doing? You still your nerves a wreck yet? So I'll tell you what, this has not been an easy thing on the nerves here, but we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. So we're going to go ahead and discuss a few things. So you guys that are new on the live stream, thank you very much for joining us. We have gotten to 3,000 plus members now on the YouTube, and the Discord is growing. And of course, over at VeChain, their memberships are growing as well. So appreciate that for all of the guys that are being a part of what it is I do, what it is they do over there. And we can't thank you enough for your participation and your interest and stuff like that. So you guys that are new in the broadcast here, let's do a little housekeeping here real quick. If you'd like to join us and be a part of our free community, go ahead and join us over at the unfairadvantage.chat. That's my Discord. That's where I hang out. That's what I do. I do predictions and calls based upon the Fibby charts from the website. And again, my name is Red Baron, so I'm referred to as RB. So if you get in the Discord and everybody starts talking about this RB guy, that would be me, Red Baron. So if you'd like to, obviously, as we get to going here, it'll make more sense to you guys that are new. We're going to be using charts as pulled from fibbycharts.com. We're going to be working with the Platinum Group. Now, if you'd like to see some of these charts, basically what they are is they're charts that have an automated intelligence built into them. It has predictions, software predictions, something that I authored about a year ago that basically is like having a digital desktop crystal ball. It's deadly, deadly accurate, is what we like to see, right to the pixel. So if you're looking for a system that can help you predict market moves, I dare you to find anything more precise or more exacting than this. So hang out for a little while and watch the system work and watch some of the predictions that have come to pass, and I'm sure you'll be staring with great awe at what you're about to see. So it's unlike anything you'll find anywhere else on YouTube, I assure you. So again, if you'd like to subscribe to Fibby Charts, just go ahead and go to subscribe now. And you can go to Tell Me More if you want to see the different packages that they offer. You can get into our charts, or my charts are accessible through Fibby Charts because it's a live feed through the stuff that I do, back feeds into their stuff. So you can see my prediction calls and pick up on my charts also. But the charts start at the bronze package, starts at less than $25, and the more you spend, obviously, the more charts that you get. And the gold package is a pretty good start, and obviously for a lot of guys that are really serious about trading. And you also get a chat in that, and the chats link back to the Discord. So the chats are where it's really at. You know, you get a little bit of support. Not only you get charts, but you get a support group to be able to help you kind of figure out what it is you're looking at. Now, if you want to step up and go big time, you can, of course, obviously go up to the platinum, which everybody eventually ends up at the platinum. What happens usually is guys come in and they want to get a test taste and see if this is really the real deal. and they get in at bronze, they get in at silver, and they go, oh my God, this really works. And then within days, they're stepping up to gold, and then sometimes they're even stepping up 2 or 3 days later into platinum. So I'm warning you guys, it's very addictive. Sooner or later, you will end up in platinum. It's just one of those things. When you get to be making money here, it's been a really slow month, but when you get to be making money, obviously, with more charts gives you more options, and with more options, it gives you more ways to make money. So, all right, so we will go. We lovingly refer to these little sessions we do as cryptotherapy. So you guys that are not in on the inside jokes, we have a lot of inside jokes. So you'll see reference to the magic chicken bones. That's the system that we refer to on the charts as the magic chicken bones. That's our euphemism for our AI system that's built into the charts, formerly known or officially known as ISIS, ISIS, and another one called Anubis. These are my short range and long range price prediction bots that are built into the charts. So, okay, so without much ado here, let's go ahead and get to rocking and see what we got left of the crypto market. Wanda, if you're having problems hearing, turn up your sound there, honey. I've got this thing running at about 140%. I'm driving the mic pretty hard right now, so if you can't hear me very much, it's just a simple matter of you turning up. I'll check my sound here real quick. Give me just a second. I'll make sure that I'm running 100% for you guys. Let me check my settings here real quick. There we go. How's that? A little bit better? For whatever reason, my broadcast thing rolled back to 100%. So I'm running at 140% now. A little bit better? I don't know what happened there. OBD software is kind of a piece of crap, but you get what you pay for. So it's down. So I've got the mic turned up. I can see my audio levels are higher now, so you should be able to hear me pretty well. Give me just a second here. Let me see if I can make a little bit more of a change. All right, let's try that. How's that sounding? Better? Okay. So I'm running it at 150. I'm running just at clips. So, okay, I apologize for that. It always drives me nuts when I watch YouTube where people spend 20 minutes jacking with their volume. So I try to get that stuff set up ahead of time. But, you know, that's how it goes when you run a studio out of your house. So if you guys are having volume problems, just go ahead and just turn up your player, turn up your audio or whatever on your computer. So I've got it running as loud as it possibly can go on my end. So. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get into. So we're going to be using the platinum level chat or the platinum level charts tonight. There we go. So let's go ahead and take a look at now to kind of go back and recircle. It's been about a week since we got together for therapy here, so nothing much has changed, but we got to bring all the new folks up to speed here. So first of all, got to explain what a ping is. A ping is just simply just our little "I told you so." It's always kind of fun to make a call and hit it. So ping is always kind of like a hit it kind of a call thing. And we get a lot of those. So those were just 3 calls I made in a row that just hit bing, bing, bing. So we're looking at the 6 hour. Let me go ahead and scoop all this trash off here and let's take a look at what's going on here and talk about this. So as we went into this, I told you a couple weeks ago that we were heading into a Head and Shoulders, and I told you that I have a certain level or a certain time frame on this when a Head and Shoulders is no longer a Head and Shoulders, being this is the shoulder, this is the head, and there's the other shoulder, where there's going to be a point in time at which this is no longer a Head and Shoulders. It's moved on to something else. Clearly, by what I see here, from about this point right here, we are no longer in the classic Head and Shoulders formation. So that changes the short-term prediction of, you know, if we were looking at, I'd have to go back and put all this in here. It's going to bring all that junk back. If we were looking at classic Head and Shoulders, that would have put us right down into this bucket right down here under that red line. Now, does that mean it's not going to play out? I'm reserving judgment on that at this point in time. But the Head and Shoulders has changed markedly. So we're into something else now. We could be getting into a prolonged deal. We could be getting into something completely different where we have basically a flat bottom and a descending triangle, which we still have a long story jumping ahead for you guys that don't really understand how technical analysis works. We have left the most sure thing formation for a slam down. We are progressing into another one that would still designate or denote a downward movement. Not as violently, not as fast, because where would be the fun in that if we didn't drag this out till God knows when. But basically, we've moved on into kind of a descending triangle here. Let me kind of chalk talk this out here a little bit. So if I were apologize for all this. So if you can kind of see right there, basically that formation is in that triangle right there. I'll do some housekeeping and get all that stuff off for next broadcast. But basically, effectively, what we're getting into is we're getting into a triangle situation. We've got a flat bottom there. That helps just a little bit there, I think. Let me see if I can change this a little bit and get some of that off there. There we go. That'll help us a little bit. Okay. So basically what we've got is we've got a flat bottom triangle here. So now what we could do possibly, is we might break up a little bit and get into what's called a J-hook. That's one of our little things that we have kind of found on this website. And basically what that is, it's a fake out going the wrong direction 50% and then a hard slam down. So we could be looking for a J-hook to the up direction and then hooking and dropping down there and getting to that prediction of $24,000. I am not backing down on $24,000. Still feels good, still like it. It's not going to be an easy slam dunk like I wanted it to be. I wanted it to come out of that head and shoulders just screaming to the bottom so I could give you a nice, crisp, clear, fire, but unfortunately it's not going to be like that. Just never is, kids. Never is. Nothing. No good profit goes unpunished, you know what I'm saying? So let's get rid of that. So looking at this classically speaking here, so we're still watching that 24,000. Now 24,000 puts us, we've got a little bit of a hang up right there, but our first real bottom puts it at about the 24,000 to the 18,000. So that call is still hanging out there. So let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit closer and take a look at exactly what's going on with the actual area here. Okay, so we're still, let me go ahead and get that stuff out of there. So, all right. Now, I feared about, about roughly, I don't know, about 2-3 broadcasts ago, I told you, be prepared for this thing. If you guys would remember me saying, be prepared, I would not be surprised that this is going to go clear over here to this line. I did tell you that. Much as I didn't want to have to believe it for myself, I did tell you. I've told you a couple times, actually. And it does, in fact, look exactly like that's what's happening. Now, here's a couple things. Now, I told you, obviously, we were going to be coming out of this descent triangle. We would drop, and I made a little bit of mark, and I told you, look, we're going to come down in 3 different hits. We're going to come down to this line here, and this line here. Ping, ping, ping. Hit all 3 lines. So all 3 of those targets were predicted and hit. Spot on, perfect. Okay, so we go ahead and take that out. Now, I told you this was going to be the rejection line, and sure enough, we came down. We rejected right off of that. Now, I told you that what we're really, really watching is what we're really, needing is we're needing this area right here. Now, that really doesn't mean anything. Actually, what we're looking for is this white line right here. I just put that there to kind of let you guys know. So we're operating in a range here, a good side, bad side range. This is the upside, and this is the downside. So let me give you the thumbnail tour of good, better, best, and worst. Clearly, we're operating towards the bottom end of this spectrum. If we get below this, this is our last hardcore support. I mean, this is what's ultimately holding. Now, when this started to go down, I told everybody in the Discord, I said, this is going to cause a rejection to bounce back up. I said I didn't expect it to be very powerful because obviously we have a downward momentum here. We're within a channel. So we have some things holding us in place here. So I suppose we can probably go ahead and take that blue one out of there since that's not really a relevant channel right now for what we're doing. Sometimes it's good to have multiple channels to kind of give you a box target, but for this discussion. So we're still inside of, now we are easing to the top part, the top half of this red channel. So we're still within this. So as long as we remain in this downward channel, which we could for another day or so. Now it's the 15th tomorrow. We'll talk about that here in just a second. But as long as we are inside of this red channel, nothing really much has changed. We either need to convincingly break out and down, or we need to get the hell out of this channel and start working on some new business in an upward direction. But we have several things that are going to stop us. We're not just going to go screaming up and hit this purple wavy line. Here's how this would play out to the upside. If it did play out to the upside, what's going to end up happening is it's going to come up. It has to get past the top part of this triangle. Then we've got another resistance right here that we're going to be doing. So if we did move up, do not be surprised to see that we come up, maybe possibly wick out of here and jack around in there a little bit, and maybe we fall back down in there again. Don't be too surprised. My money would be on that. If I were putting money on Bitcoin, which I absolutely am not, if I were putting money on Bitcoin, that would be my guess, is we're probably going to come up here just to screw with people a little bit, because we've got a trend line here. So what they want to do, the magic the hidden hand, wants to do is they want to convince you that there's some sort of change. And really, honestly, what they do is they wick it out about 1 or 2 candles, and then they suck it back down. And that's just designed to punk you, is all it is. Just to get you, oh, look, we broke out. And you're throwing down money, making the exchanges rich, and then they turn around and get you to panic sell back out. That's what a Wyckoff event is. That's what a Wyckoff formation is. That's what this market has been all about for 5 to 6 damn weeks in a row. It's getting bloody well ridiculous. But, you know, as long as there's money to be made doing it, they're going to keep doing it. So, but we're running out of formations here. You know, it's going to be I'm gonna kind of soften this a little bit. If I were not on air, I would probably give you the, you know, pooper, get off the potty. Let's just say that. I think y'all know what I want to say. But basically, we're gonna have to pick a line and go with it. So if we go up, I suspect probably one more fake out, something on the order of that. Now, if we are to go ahead and gather any strength of that, now we start talking about several other things. Let me go ahead. I'm always moving my targets here. Hang on a second. Okay, so if we were to gather strength and go higher, and I put no hope of this, guys, really no hope. We have to break this line first, then we have to break this trend here, because we are still in that trend. And then we have to get up and we have to start dealing with that Fibonacci line, which also is the bottom part of that target box. There's a lot of trash between here and here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 resistances before we get to even starting to think about getting into new ground where we can start to breathe easy about Bitcoin going up. You feeling good about that? Because I'm certainly not. I don't think anyone has ever demonstrated that, but that is exactly the truth. It's not going to be, no matter what anybody tells you, I just showed you, there's 9 resistances, clear cut, clear as the nose on your face, between where we're at now and getting to a point where we are going to actually truly, quote unquote, break out. Okay? So keep that in mind. Now let's talk downside. Downside's a hell of a lot easier to do. So let's talk downside. So if we're looking down, here's what we got to deal with. 1 resistance right there. Once we get through, well, I'll spot you 2. So we got to go, basically, we got to go back again. So what this would be is, currently we're here. We have to come back down. We have to test this line one more time. You can see we've already done it once, already done it twice, already done it 3 times. Pop quiz, kids. What happens when you test a limit, usually after the 3rd time? It breaks. Does it not? Prove me wrong. I mean, very, very often, very, very often, enough we can call it a general rule. Tests of 3, 4, 5, generally, you slam a glass wall enough times, it's going to break and it's going to shatter. So we've got 1 test, and then multiple tests, actually, if you really want to be a hard ass about it. So if you hit this, you hit it again. Let's just call this whole formation a big test. A whole formation's another test. And yet again, another one. So we got 1, 2, 3, boom. Now what's going to happen, didn't mean to over-dramatize that. So what's going to happen is we're going to come down here. Now we're going to probably ping-pong along right in there. Now, you watch. I'm willing, dollars to donuts. I'm willing to tell you this is exactly what's going to happen. Exactly what's going to happen. Let me make a case here for even a time. Have you heard? Let me ask you guys. I know my channel is not the only channel that obviously is prediction and people are talking and saying this and that and the other thing. They're giving you these random. It's an echo chamber. They're giving you random dates and stuff. Well, this guy said so. You know, everybody's saying this. Everybody's saying this. But anybody showing you facts? Is anyone showing you just cause? Is anyone showing you charts or proof or anything like that? Very few. Let me show you something. step into my office here. Let me show you something. So if I were to make a case that exactly, let me go ahead and clear all this stuff off so we can really talk clearly here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make this yellow here. Let's just do this real quick. I'm going to make that yellow. Or no, let's go ahead and make this hyper green so it really stands out. All right. Okay, so let's make the assumption. So right now we are currently here. So obviously we are trending down. Anybody can figure that out. We're at the top part of this. So now we're basically going to work this area. So now let's say we come down here, and let's say we go for, I don't know, let's say another day or so. And we come down here, and when, at some juncture in time, we're going to come down. We are absolutely going to test this level right here. Absolutely. At this point in time, we're going to hit it, and we're probably going to break through. Now we're going to end up in what I always like to call the ping pong zone. Absolutely, with no doubt in my mind, that is hard, hard, hard resistance. We are not going to go rocketing through that. No way, no shape, no form that we're going to go through that. So what will happen is we will break through this. We will be forced to bounce. So you guys want to play a bounce play? That bad boy right there is money, baby. That's a bounce I will put my reputation on. If it bounces, here's where it's going to bounce. You have a range from there to there. Not much, but you guys that like to leverage, and I'm sorry, I don't play the game, but sometimes I do watch with morbid fascination the guys that use my charts to great effect. It's funny to be your support group, but I won't do it myself. But always fun to live vicariously through you guys. So you're looking at nothing great, nothing worth getting out of bed with. But if you're using multiples, you're looking at a potentially 4.5% multiple right here times whatever leverage you're doing. You could make some pretty good bank there. Basically you've got a floor here to here, but you're going to come down and you're going to hit this, and it most likely will bounce up and ricochet off of this. And so here's what I'm showing you. Here's what I want to show you. That right there is your action box. When we break out of this box, all hell is going to break loose. Now, what is the worst? Here's getting back to my earlier point. I know I fragment my thinking a lot. When is that going to happen? When, dear Lord, when is this going to happen? I'll give you a date. If we follow this trend line all the way down to its bitter end, to the absolute tippy top point, that's July 30th. July 30th, end of the month, right there. So isn't it funny how that falls in perfect confluence? That line and that thing, this is why we call the grid the unfair advantage. That's why we call this system. I can give you a time. This is what our bots do. This is what our system does. Right at 1900 hours Chicagoland time on the 30th is point where we have to shit or get off the pot. We have to go down or go up, but we will no longer be stuck in this formation. So now what's going to happen likely? I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep my mouth as close to the mic as I possibly can here. So, okay, so anyway, what's going to happen is we're going to end up in this ping pong zone. So, and likely probably closer to the 25th, somewhere between the 21st and 25th. So I'm banking probably around about here is when we're really going to see the big action. So a lot of people have been kind of speculating that about the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, right in that range. And I would agree with them. I've been pretty spot on with all my predictions and telling you guys that I really thought that this thing was probably going to really hit the fan starting on about the 13th to the 15th. And that's about when this stuff has started. So, yeah, so we're looking at probably around about the 20th to 25th where we're going to be in this zone here, and that's going to be all she wrote. It's time to do it. Okay. Now, when it goes like this, let's go ahead and zoom all the way back out. And again, I'm looking at the 6-hour chart here, so it's like it's just infuriatingly slow to deal with this. But let me go ahead and reload. I don't want to clip my mic here, but I'll at the risk of clipping my mic, let me see if I can turn my volume up here a little bit. I want you guys hearing me breathe every time I every time I do. Let me see if I can turn this up a little bit. I apologize. I thought we had this all dialed in for a while, and we did the show with Redberry yesterday, and everything went straight to hell. So I gotta get everything all dialed back in again. OBD did a software update on me here, so let me see if I can get this all back on track here. Hang on just a second. Hang on just a second. All right, let's take a look at how's that. I'm running huge gains right now, so I don't want to see my mic clipping. I'm running a 160% gain, 165% gain on my mic right now. I don't want to kill my audio or my listeners, but is that sounding okay to you guys? I'm not getting those ultimate highs that I used to get for whatever reason. I'm not sure what the heck is going on. Okay, all right. Okay, sorry about that. Just always part of the broadcast. Okay, so as far as that goes, now to the downside. So we are again, we're watching. I'm kind of out of sorts here a little bit, guys. I'm trying to multitask here. So again, we are watching for a call. Now, you guys know that understand the system and understand these yellow arrows here are basically high probability. They're not my highest probability arrows, but they play out. Oh boy, do they! Over and over and over again. You know, it's an amazing system when these things come in. You know, you can pretty much, sometimes you got to wait for them a little bit. Usually they play out in 3 to 5 days, but they are known to play out inside of 20, 25 days. Not often, but, you know, given the market that we're having right now, it's kind of understandable that things aren't going to play out as directly and straight as they possibly should or could. However, these calls are still sitting at 24,000. I put every bit of faith on 24,000. We are so close, so close. Let me give you a read on how close, in fact, we are. We're getting closer with every single broadcast. To get to the 24,000, we are only 26% to that first target. Remember back in the day, you guys have been around for a while. Remember when we were at 40%? Remember we were at 35, then 30. So now we're at 26%. See, we are getting there. It feels like paint drying, but we are getting there. So now below that, now I told everybody, for you guys that are new, I always have to kind of go back and re-explain my positions. I don't want anybody making any rash moves. You know, I'm not handing financial advice. I'm just giving you my opinion, but I want to be clear on what my opinion is. 24,000 is not the bottom. It's the signpost on the road to hell is kind of what I jokingly refer to it. Now, it could be the bottom, but we won't know that until we are there. You know, I mean, are we there yet? Are we there yet? I don't know. I'll know when I'm there. So when we get to 24,000, we'll stop. We'll look around. We'll check the map. See if all the winds blow in the right direction, and then I'll give the yay or nay. Now, if it's looking like the wind is blowing in a certain direction where this might have been the bottom, I'll give everybody that's in the chats on the Discord. And again, you guys, if you want to get those calls, join us at the unfairadvantage.chat because I'm on there every single day updating charts and kind of just mixing it up with all the people that are in there. So it's a fun community to be a part of. So if you guys are looking for something to get involved in that doesn't have a bunch of skateboard kids and spammers and scammers and stuff like that, we patrol it pretty closely. We don't let that stuff come into our group. Okay, so the next target down, really ultimately, I mean, we can get down to 16,000 and down to 12,300. Ultimately, my ultimate bottom assumption is probably 12,300. You know, that's really ultimately the bottom as I see it. But we've got to kind of check those signposts on the way down. But make no mistake about it, when we go down to 24,000, I mean, that'll definitely open some eyes. If we get down to 24,000, what's that going to do to the rest of the market? Now, the thing, and I want to repeat this over and over again because even the guys that are in the Discord don't listen to me. Y'all aren't listening to me. And so what I want to tell you is this. There's a very fast way, and I'm going to repeat this for probably the umpteenth time. There's a very fast way to know, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? We don't know the exact. We have targets. You know, the ISIS system outputs, the AI system outputs these targets, which are very believable, and they do come to pass. However, if we can cross-correlate them with other targets, we know them to be fairly reliable, then we can say, okay, signpost 1, we've achieved. Signpost 2, we've achieved. Signpost 3, we've achieved. Looks to me like the wind's blowing in the right direction. Pull the damn trigger, man. Get your wallet out, okay? I'm not covering Dragon Chain anymore. We got rid of it because it was kind of dead. So yeah, I want to answer questions as they're coming up in the chat. Yeah, I kind of weeded that because when I first brought Dragon Chain in, it was doing great. A lot of guys were making 30-40%, and then it just fell flat on its can, and I just And when I kind of started to learn up a little bit on it and saw Disney kind of parted ways for it, it kind of lost its sexiness. So I got out of that. So let me digress back here to Bitcoin. So the signpost I'm talking about is we're watching 3 key indicators. We're watching Bitcoin, we're watching XRP, and we're watching Doge. Why? Because we have a market leader, a market outlier, and a market institutional. Okay, those come from 3 different angles. Now, I'm expecting Doge. I'm not expecting Doge. I just know where I might feel comfortable on that. So that one's kind of an outlier. But I certainly do know where I expect to see XRP, 22 to 25 cents. I've said it till I'm blue in the face. 22 to 25 cents. So if I see, for example, if I see Bitcoin slam down to 24,000, and I look up and I look at Bitcoin, or if I look at XRP and oh my God, we're at 25 cents. Pull the trigger, baby. We're there. Because I don't see it going any lower. It's those 2 things playing off of each other, but I don't. I expect to be probably in the 30, 35 cent range. When we get down to here, we'll probably be 30, 35, 40 cent range. When we get down to here, we'll probably be in the very low 30. But when we get down here, make no mistake about it, we will either we will come down here and get this, and everything's all bets are off, and the bottom's in on everything, or not. So, but when I see XRP floating between 25 and 22 cents. And I look over and see this anywhere within my target zones, any of my respective target zones, I'll make a very flash call and say, this is it, we're here. Park the car, we're here. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at a few other things here real quick. So let's go ahead and have a little look-see at Ethereum. Now Ethereum, oh, isn't that beautiful? There you go, there's an arrow just out of nowhere, that call. Boom, we hit it right there. Just boom. Perfect. Smashed. Not only did we get it, we hit it a second time. Now, that's a hell of a drop, guys. I mean, when that prediction came, it came right here. So I predicted about 11% drop before any of this even played out. This played out here. I said we're going to have about 11% more. Went sideways, we dropped 11, actually about almost 12% more. So could have been a little bit lower if I wanted to, but I always try to play it a little bit conservative because I want you guys to be able to get these positions when you're playing, because nothing sucks worse than missing something by fractions of a point. So I just tend to kind of shave it to the positive or to the negative in the better way, because I don't want to see you guys go, well, I took your call and I missed it by a fraction. That kind of sucks when you do that. So I've had it happen to me, and I know every one of you has had it happen to you. So I always try to be a little bit on the conservative side. But anyway, the Ethereum, we hit that. So where are we going with this? Now, looking at Ethereum right now, it would seem to be indicating an upward move. It would seem to be indicating a bullish move. And I question that. And so I got to pull out the tools and I got to ask, does this make sense? I already know the answer because I already did this earlier, but I'm going to do it live here on the screen. Now, as you look, the first thing that you should always do whenever you're really, really zoomed in on this, you're like, oh my God, look at that, it's just taken off. It's really not. It's really not. I mean, that's a 7.5%, 7.75%. Good, but not great, okay? But if we really, really, really zoom out and look at the bigger picture, I mean, or what are we doing here? We're still in a range. It's not that great of a move. Now, what I will do is I'm going to steal this from here. I'm going to bring it over here. I'm going to show you something. If I were to take that and, well, hell, I'll just make that a half channel. So if I were to take that right on across there, yeah, I like that. Perfect. Okay. So let's take a look at what I just did here. So we've got a downward channel. I mean, nobody can deny that you're looking at a downward channel here. So, but look at the relevance of this channel that I just dropped in, and let's see how that's playing with the channel. You'll notice that we've talked at great length about mid-range on channels, how they're so important. See, we interact with those mid-ranges of those channels. We find a high and a low, 3 points on the bottom, preferably 3 at the top, 3 at the bottom, 1 over. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. There's one there. We have nothing yet. We've got another one back there potentially. So we could bounce to the top of that channel, which will interact with that AI line. Now, these lines here for you guys that are new, always have to go back and read. These are not Fibonacci lines. These are part of the ISIS, the AI lines that are integrated in the charts that you can subscribe to over at FibiCharts. These are not Fibonacci lines. They have a Fibonacci element to them. What they are is they are automated intelligence lines that calculate statistical probabilities for movements. And you'll notice, look how accurate. Again, follows these lines perfectly, down to the line, up to the line, down, 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 rebounds off, drops to, rebounds back up. These lines are just absolutely accurate. And the guys that like to do shorting or longing and stuff like that are just killing it using this system. These lines that are going up and down, these are time markers. So basically, if you look at this, I don't have a good example because I'm kind of riffing here, but if you look at this, you'll notice that these lines, every time we pass one of these lines, we get a major move. We get a dump or a pump. These are like time pulse, we call them pulse markers. They're basically the mind of the machine deciding when it's time to make a move, to go up, down, sideways, or whatever. So we've got left-right predictions for heights. We've got up-down predictions for time. So it's a time factor by distance, time and distance built into the thing. And we are the only ones that have this. And so this is my unique system that you won't find anywhere else. And it's extremely accurate, up to a 93.5% accuracy rate. All right, so where I expect this to go for right now is I would expect to probably get a very easy move, probably theoretically right there. Yeah, it feels good, looks good. I would believe it. Now, possibly we might get a half move of that, so I'll kind of give you a couple different calls. My guess is we're probably going to be definitely I would feel pretty good about the yellow one here. We're going to go ahead and make that yellow. I would feel pretty good about that being a possibility. Now, with that being said, if we're going to, the rest of the market's just going to go to crap, then this could be something completely different. But right now, it does look, it is operating within the realm of a channel. It has all the sights and sounds and smells of a channel play. We get down here and we look at all of our other indicators, which is our green is losing strength slightly and stuff like that. So we might wander around a little bit, but we want to watch that green line there on the TS or on the indicator. We want to watch the RSI. We want to watch the MACD. But if all these start going, and our bubble is compressing here, our Bollinger Band bubble. If all of our indicators start to scream up, then that's exactly where we're going to go. Is we're probably going to find ourselves right in the range of right about there. And that'll probably be able to top out, and then she'll come back down from there. So now, if that does not play out, if we go along, we could get into something like that. But it remains to be seen because we're riding right across the top part of that channel, which is acting kind of like a support in and of itself. So we got to watch this dotted line here. You guys that are chart subscribers, watch this dotted line, and that'll tell you if we start making a move to this AI line right here, and we pierce this AI line, then you know infallibly we're going to be heading on up to the next one. So, and again, that's not a play you could probably, unless you guys want to leverage play that. That's not a huge move, but it's a 3.5% move to that next AI line if you wanted to leverage that, maybe 10x or 15x or something like that. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just theorizing out loud. But if you guys want to do those little micro leverage plays, that's when this grid becomes perfect, is doing those little micro scalps with leverage. You're not going to get liquidated, generally speaking. You're not going to get wiped out by exchanges doing these ungodly wicks when you're doing these tiny little line-to-line scalps. We've got a couple of guys that are becoming quite masterful at doing that. One of them's in the chat right now, and he's doing pretty well. I don't I won't out you. I never out my subscribers. I don't want to tell the world how much money they're making, but who I'm talking to knows who I'm talking about. But what's your dollar figure? What's your win rate up? I saw the other day you made like 30 perfect calls and 2 losses, something like that. I can't remember what it was you posted. Put it in the chat if you got it. But that's all of a success rate, guys. I mean, how'd you like to be able to go to casino and rake back 30 hands of cards and only lose 2? Not too shabby. All right, so Ethereum's kind of an outlier for us. You know, I never really view Ethereum as being a market dictator, but I always like to kind of watch and see if it's running anti-direction to everything else, but it pretty much is still within the same narrative. So I don't even deal with Constellation, Mike. Don't even deal with it. All right, so XRP. Oh Lord, this thing, you know, it just gives it to us and it takes it back. We had a nice drop. I was on last night. I was on doing some Twitter marketing, and that's going to be put in $30. We had that beautiful drop, and then she just started going. But there was a call right there, hit it, and so that call was just a small one, just about a 4% called, and then we hit that one. That got called, got hit, and we picked up the lower, and it just basically just fell short of it. So where are we at with this? Much like Ethereum, we're kind of getting that shelf. Let me clear some garbage out here. We're kind of getting that shelf where I'm suspecting we might be prepared for some false pumps. That's what I'm going to just broadly say here. I think it's time as we get close to, it's the 15th tomorrow, middle of the month. I mean, it's kind of a pivot point to the month. And that's basically where this is at. So, they're going to have to show us something and get us hoping they're going to whip the old rug as they so often do. So we're going to probably expect to see a move of this magnitude probably somewhere to this neighborhood here. Now that falls in parallel with a lot of confluence, so I would be a believer that we would see that. That's not a huge move in the grand scale of things, guys. So don't, 2.3%, 2.33%. So nothing worth getting all excited about. But and again, if we wanted to extend this channel out, we would still be well within the range of this blue channel, which I don't know where that started off at. But if we were to kind of just imaginary line that down, we could go all the way up to this double AI line. Now, these green lines here, by the way, I do have to explain this because a lot of guys are starting to understand the magic of these lines. This green line is a true, pure Fibonacci line. The gold line is an AI line from ISIS. And the general rule that we're starting to develop is anytime you see these two lines neck and neck, side by side, you're getting a double confirmation on the belief, classic math and high-tech math coming together to say, hey, this general area here has something special about it. And what's so special about it is we generally see that they're very, very magnetic. So I would spot you a little bit further, not in one general move, but we could trend. Let me just kind of BS this down here. We could very well trend right down inside of that line and go as high as this double AI Fibonacci line right here. Yeah, I don't know what to do about the line other than just screaming in the mic. I really don't know what else to do. I mean, I'm speaking in a pretty full voice. My voice isn't trashed tonight like it normally is. So I'm looking at my audio mixer, and I'm barely coming above half. So a little bit is me, but you're going to have to work with me and turning the mic up a little bit. I apologize for that, guys. It's just every damn day it's something. So, I mean, if I'm really in the mic making loud noises, I want to give you guys the best show I possibly can. So it's infuriating, when I'm a control freak. That's one thing you got to know about me. It's like, everything's got to be perfect. Yeah, we go to Vegas. You're gonna see me. I'm a wreck. Speaking of Vegas, let me take a second here, you guys. So a lot of you guys are wanting to know about are we going to have this event in Vegas in October? It's dicey. It really is. It's a very. I'll get back into the charts here in a minute. So to bring everybody up to speed, we have had a lot of interest in people wanting to go to a Vegas event and have a get together in Las Vegas on October 30th, which is my birthday, by the way. It'll be my 54th birthday. So. Love to party with you guys. Love to celebrate my birthday with my close friends and my soon-to-be close friends and all my friends and family and all my fans and stuff like that. Can't imagine a better way to spend my birthday, and in Vegas no less. So, really want to have that happen. However, it becomes a matter of dollars and cents, and so in order to get the hotel room, to get the ballroom, to get the I kind of let it slide. You guys are already members of the Discord. You can kind of see what I have in mind, and it's quite mind blowing. I have spoke to these gentlemen. I'm not going to say names on YouTube, but if you're if you're a member of our Discord, it is public and you can read. I have spoke to these gentlemen, all three of these gentlemen I have spoke to today. I've got their personal phone numbers, and some of them I actually work with, and they're friends of mine. We're trying to get all of these. I don't work with them. I associate with them, I should say. I don't. It's not a cash thing. I do it for the pleasure of doing it. However, it's a matter of scheduling, and one of these gentlemen is in his 80s, and so traveling may not necessarily pan out. However, I will get her done if we have to do like a remote from the floor or whatever, where there's a will, there's a way. However, it becomes a matter of economics and stuff. A lot of the guys that are members of the Discord are guys from Australia and from Thailand and from South Africa. And, you guys are from just every nook and cranny on the planet. It's amazing. It's quite humbling to see the way this thing has come together as a worldwide effort. So there's only a percentage of you guys. They're American, and apparently Canada's not letting people travel right now. And so, this friggin' this jab issue, we'll just call it that, it's kind of putting the kibosh on the good times. However, here's what I will tell you. We have a certain number of people that need to be on the floor. In other words, live asses in chairs, as my dad used to say, or asses in seats. So we have to have a certain number. Now, that can be a husband-wife combination. So you guys that are members, if you want to bring your plus one, your significant other, we have kicked around the idea of doing some sort of like a couples discount or something like that. But we have to have a certain number of people in to take up the floor space. Otherwise, it's just not something that can happen. I'm trying to do this in such a way that basically I don't want anybody's money or anything like that. I don't want to tie up anybody's cash and then not have this happen. So we're trying to make sure that this is going to be green lights all the way across town before we pull out of the garage, so to speak. However, the number seems to be somewhere in the neighborhood of plus 350 people on site. Now, that's not a tall order in the normal stretch of things. However, I'm respectful of the fact that, it's around holidays. Some of you guys got kids and stuff like that, and then travel being what it is. I'm a little bit dubious. But as this group grows, we will keep swinging on it. I will keep people notified what's going on. And we will probably create a separate page on the Discord. But what I would like at some juncture in time, we're going to take a head count, see how many people we got willing that want to make the trip. And for those of you that simply cannot, we don't want to leave you guys extended out of this. So what we would do is we would do a 3-day live remote where you would have like a pass to be able to watch all the stuff that's going on, interact with the stuff that's going on with the special guests that are going to be there. Because trust me, these guys will bring the heat. I mean, this will be 3 days you will not forget. Not going to be a bad price. I'm not going to give price right now, but it's not going to be a bad price. A real estate seminar is a hell of a lot more. Real estate seminar is a couple $1,500. This is not going to be that expensive. So, but this will be something that if you spend 3 days with me, I guarantee you it'll be 3 days that'll absolutely, you'll come home with more information crammed in your head than you think you can carry back on an airplane. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get back to this. And I'll keep you guys updated as to what's going on. But here shortly, go ahead and join us at the unfairadvantage.chat. If you'd be interested in coming to the crypto conference on October, the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in October on probably at the Bellagio. Bellagio will win. We haven't quite figured that out yet. So we will get that. And we'll of course be putting the word out, stuff like that. So I don't want to beat you over the head with it just yet. But you guys are constantly sending me notices. I thought I'd put it out publicly and make sure everybody knows what's going on. But we'll leak the guests publicly what it's going to be. But trust me, it's going to drop some jaws. Oh crap! I didn't know you could get him. Yes, I can get him and a few others that you guys don't know. So I'm not going to give the full roster just yet, but it's going to be pretty fun. All right, so let's go ahead and get back to the charts here. So XRP, again, we're waiting for 22 to 25 cents. That's going to be the unfallible call. Why? For you guys that are new to the broadcast, because we've had a crazy amount of time last summer spent at the 22 to 25 cent range. It makes perfect logical sense. But that's got to be the floor, guys. That is absolutely the cement rock bottom floor. Now, we could wick through that, yes, but I'm willing to stake my hard-earned reputation on the fact that 22 cents is about the floor. I mean, when we hit it, That's it. 25, I'm giving you the soft side of the call conservatively because I don't want you guys. I certainly believe below 30 is absolutely, infallibly in the cards. If we are going to take this dive, we are going to go to 30 and below. No question in my mind. All right. Well, you know, Jason, that's an interesting thing too. You know, I have this little thing. Again, let me divert here a little bit, and I'll get back to charts. I always have this thing I kind of call the 11th hour miracle, and my life is filled with these things. You know, I won't get into too esoterical stuff here tonight, but I have a tattoo on my left arm, and you guys have heard me talk about it, and we've heard me talk about the left arm, and it's Matthew 17:20. Have faith as small as a mustard seed, and you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. So our latest mountain is a Las Vegas meetup. So watch me push that son of a bitch to the finish line. I'll make it happen. So I'm blessed in the way that nothing works right until the 11th hour, and all of a sudden everything falls into place. You know, I don't. Domain will tell you he's watched it. It's scary. I mean, nothing works right, and then all of a sudden everything just falls into place at the 11th hour. I would prefer not to try and set up a meeting halfway across the country at the 11th hour because, you know, I'd like to do this with a little bit of cushion. But yeah, it does work that way for me. So just let me work my magic. You know, let me pray to the chicken bones and get everything going the right way. It'll work out. You know, if we don't do that, we'll do something. You have my assurance. We'll do something. Even if it's a stripped down version of that, just because I know you guys want to get together, we'll do something. So, all right, you have my assurance on that. All right, so let's go ahead and go down to XLM. So XLM is kind of like the junior partner to XRP. So we always like to kind of see what's going on. And again, it's the same thing. Now, this tells a little bit different story, doesn't it? This was kind of funny. Every once in a while, I like to make these flippant little calls when I see it. And you guys just always sit there going, "Oh my God, how do you keep doing this?" I was doing Twitter the other night, and you know this thing was going up and up and up and up, and everybody's like, "What's going on? What's going on?" I'm like, "It's going to go down." And we hit the top of this. And I said, "When it hits that, that's it. It's going down." And I told everybody on the Discord that this was going to be it, and sure enough, down she goes. Now, what's going to happen is it's going to roll down the inside of this thing here. It's going to hit this little area right here. We're going to cross this line, and down she's going to go. Or whatever's going to happen from that point is going to happen once we cross the Fibonacci ring. Now, I don't generally use rings. You guys know that. However, just to kind of pretty up my charts, I like to use them once in a while. But you got to know how to use them the right way because you can't just almost did Christopher Walken there for a minute. But you got to know how to do it the right way. And so if you put them together the correct way, you can actually get a little bit of a motion that you can use to predict secondary motions. So if you can see that this is playing off, the XLM is playing off of this. So when we cross this ring, it's also in confluence with a pulse marker here. So it's going to hit that, it's going to roll across, and it's going to drop. Okay. Yeah, you guys don't want to hear my Christopher Walken. You'll be dying. I'm pretty good at it. I got just the right tonality of voice to do Christopher Walken. One of these days, I'll bust out some Christopher Walken for you. We'll do Christopher Walken Friday cryptotherapy with Christopher Walken. That'd screw you guys up royally. Now, to kind of just put a little cap on this, this is very clearly orchestrated manipulation. So that's what gave me such confidence that I knew that this thing was going to roll down. I mean, look at all the choppiness we had going down. I mean, you're going to tell me that this nice, tidy little run up here is going to hold formation? Hell no. Sometimes it just common sense applies to this stuff. So we hit these AI lines perfectly. Boom. Of course, we're coming down. So that's pretty much all that's required on that. So again, this is moving in tandem with everything else. So it gives me general hope that we'll probably be coming back down to this line in this general area here. When we cross this, we'll probably find our way back down here, and we'll be right back in the swing of things. So Theta was getting its ass handed to it the other day. So I honestly, I've been so busy today, I haven't really had a chance to really go through all of the charts. I tend to, I know it's kind of boring. And some of you guys that are new subscribers, you're like, geez, man, we're not updating anything. That's just kind of, it's not normal for me to be like this. It's just, I don't want to go out of my way to kind of pump you guys up, because I've learned one thing with you guys. When I say something, you guys all take it as law and you act on it. So I'm very gun shy about giving you anything. I'm very gun shy about giving you bullets that you'll shoot yourself with. Let's just put it that way. So I dole them out sparingly, because I know some of you guys just go all in. I've got a couple of you guys that are kind of in the crypto class that if I give you just a little nugget, you're like a kid with a new tool or something. You just want to go out and find what's the old saying? Every problem looks like a nail to the person with a hammer. If I go handing out hammers, you're wanting to pound every damn thing you get your hands on, and that's not a good time to be doing this right now. So I'm very cautious about giving you guys too much information that you might go out and get yourself wrecked with. So again, here was a call that went in, and look at that. We just creeped along and boom, fell right down to it. Now here's the interesting fun part about this. When a call comes in like this, we don't hit it once. We might wick through it because, again, I'm concerned, but we always manage. Look how beautiful this is. I mean, it's not, to a casual observer, you might think, well, you didn't hit the very bottom. Well, I did more than you realize, because we hit it, we paused, we went lower, but look at this. We came right back up to it again. And then we went up. Now, guess what's about to happen? It's about to come back down here again. So 1, 2, 3 hits on that call that was made a while back. So there is a magic to this grid. It just works that way. Now, where are we going from here? Well, it's pretty obvious. Some of these charts are giving a lot more clear indication of the broader narrative. Than we're watching that, we're eyeballing that green line at remember that? When everybody thought, oh, no, we'll never get down. Never say never. Never say never. There was a call that happened. There was a call that was, there's a secondary call, and it hit. When we were clear up here, I was telling you guys, I mean, look at how far we've come down. I mean, I gave this outrageously long drop call right here, and we're just following our way down. Sooner or later, I gave you some sub calls on the way down. Is there any doubt we're going to be at $3.86? None whatsoever. None whatsoever. So now, are we going to go any further? Well, that's the fun part. Got one more. This one's kind of, oh shit. So now that's not a call just yet that I want you guys are holding out on, but it is showing. The bots are showing me. Anubis is showing the statistical probability that $2 theta is in the cards. Now a few woo-woo people, a few technical nuts, they're conceding, but not wholeheartedly. I'm telling you, I'm putting it in writing. It's there. I'm telling you it's possible. I'm willing to put it in writing that it is possible. Now, I'm not telling anybody to bet on that yet, but, when we get down here, we hit this, say I landed about $3, I'm going to tell you that it's time to start, putting your money in there. But if we get to $2 theta, oh my God, dig out the sofa cushions, sell the kidney, do what you got to do, but find the money, because I've told you guys many, many times where Anubis has this thing. Anubis is our long-range bot, price bot. Has this thing forecasted for anywhere from upwards anywhere from $2,500 to $3,500 in that range. I'll just give you kind of a wide open range. But I mean, to go from $2 to $3,500, holy hell, man! And this is inside of 48 months, 36 to 48 months. Yeah, domain makes a very good thing. This is the point, not to keep going back and hitting this, but again, I really kind of feel the need that I do need to say this over and over and over again, especially for the people that are coming in. This is not a time to be speculating. Now, a few of you guys, I say this, but I unsay it. There's a few of you in my group that have proven that you know how to control yourself. Use the information I'm giving you right now with the understanding that this too shall pass. You know how to play between these lines. Most of you do not. So if you're not comfortable knowing emphatically, I mean, look how accurate they are. I mean, we bought them here, we go here. These lines can be counted on. I mean, we come down, we hit them. We walk across them, we drop to the next, and then we drop to the next, and the next, and the next. You know, when we go down, we strike the bottom. Let me come in and really show you how accurate this is. Not a little bit, exactly to the line. And so when we go up, you see, we come up, we jiggle around on that. We go up to the next one, we level off, we come back down, we walk across those lines, we drop to the next line there, we come up, we strike across. So these lines can be counted on. But if you're not comfortable doing these swing trades, then for God's sake, don't do it. Because the real money here can be made at the bottom buy. You just got to win that war with that thing that resides between your ears, as I say so many times. It's hard. It's hard sitting on your hands. When you're watching some of our better traders that are subscribed, they're in, you know, hey, I just made $20,000. Hey, I just made $30,000. It's killing you. I know it's killing you. But this too shall pay out for everybody. You just got to believe. If you believe in what I say, if you believe in what you're seeing here, just know your time is coming. We are very, very close. Very, very close. Without giving you an absolute date, I showed you on the Bitcoin chart at the beginning of the top of the show. We're looking probably by the end of the month. We're going to see at, on, or around the bottom. And at that point in time, it'll be ready to just pick your crypto because it's all going to be in the toilet. Pick your crypto, take your position, and leave it the hell alone until the price goes up. Be that 6 months, year, 3, 4 years, whatever specific coin, whatever specific strategy you're following. But this is going to be the one time, probably in the history of crypto, the last time in the history of crypto, we're going to see these prices and this magnitude of 10x, 20x, 30x, 40x, whatever. You're not going to see this 10 years from now. So here's what I want to impress upon you guys. Control yourself. This is the one time, this is the one decision that is going to financially change your life. And I don't care if you're working with $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. I don't care if you're working with 6 figures, 7 figures. We have billionaires in our group. But we also have people that are potato farmers in South Africa. So we've got all ranges of people in our group. But what I'm saying is, it's your lot in life. There is no finer time than to take a position, listen to qualified advice that has a good track record, or not advice, but qualified information that has a good track record, self-included, that can show you a way, give you times, give you targets. Hit those targets and you either buy them because we hit the target, or otherwise we didn't hit the target and I guess I was wrong. But I have not been wrong so far. I've been calling this drop every single point along the way for the last 6 months. When everybody was going moon, 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 I'm like, oh, not so fast, boys and girls. And I've been right. We've been going down and down and down. I said 40% more to the bottom, 30% more, 25%. Now we're under 25%. So very, very close, very, very soon, we're going to be talking 15% and then 10%. And then we're going to be there. And it's time to pull the trigger and buy that. When you buy those coins, those tokens, whatever it is you want to buy, be it Bitcoin, be it Ethereum, be it Reef, which we'll talk about later in the broadcast, whatever, those life-changing coins, when those things turn and go up 36 to 48 months from now, you're going to be sitting on, and I will say this, broad blanket spectrum, talking to every single one of you, you will be seeing more money than you have ever seen in your damn life. Trust me on this. I know what I'm talking about. I've seen the future and it works. Okay? So we will get into that here in just a little bit. Yeah, so he was talking about the green alligator. Let me explain what he's talking about in the chat. Alligator is these 3 lines. The green line, the red line, and the blue line. This is one of our favorite indicators. I always like to throw indicators on there that kind of... So I always like to kind of teach a little bit to the guys that watch the live streams and guys and stuff like that. I'm just a natural teacher. So let's go ahead and take a look at this here because this is kind of fun. So, and we're looking at theta, by the way. So green tucking under red and blue means a downward motion. And again, we are doing that. Now, we look at this. We look at an expansion of this bubble. When it's really tight like this, when it starts to flare out, that means you're about to see an explosive move, either up or down, defined by the direction that the indicators are going. So we've got a downward indicator. We've got a bubble that's starting to expand in the downward direction, so we are being forced down. Now, I want to show you the magic that is the grid. These lines here, I told you, are time indicators. Check this out. If I were to tell you that I could predict when a move is going to happen based upon 5 indicators that anyone can get, subscribe to the charts, and I was going to give you one more that will tell you when it's going to happen, this would blow most people's damn minds. Oh, you can't do that? Really? Look when this move started, right on the time indicator. It turned red and down she goes. Right on this indicator, it turned green and it did a wave. There's several different moves that we see. Right on this indicator, down she went. We can see another one. Jiggled, down she went. But sometimes these things hit just dead on the time markers. And when they fall in line with all the other things, down they go or up they go. You can literally set to the 15-minute. You can usually set your thing. So the nice part about this is if you're waiting for a move and you understand how to read these charts, you can literally go live your life and come back and check. And it's almost like you can schedule a drop or a raise. And that's generally the way that I do it. When you get really good at reading these charts, you can generally go and live your life for 2-3 hours at a time, come back and check in on your phone or whatever. You don't have to live in front of it. That's one of the nice things about this system is if you understand how to effectively use it, you don't have to live your life staring at this damn screen going, is it time yet? Is it time yet? Because, summer's half over as of tomorrow here in North America or in America. You don't want to spend your nice summer days inside staring at a damn screen. That's my job. That's what I do. Anyway, so getting back here. So the DMI is another one of our new recent indicators that we added on Platinum Pro. I'm including it on a few of the Platinum charts, but the DMI is a really strong one. It's a moving indicator, and basically when red is under green, I changed the colors to be much more easy to understand. So red up is bad, green down is bad for positive. So if red is above, that means it's going down. If green is above, that means it's going up. So again, same thing with MACD. Everybody understands how the MACD, if we're rolling red, then that obviously means we're going down. So we've got one indicator saying down, two indicators saying down, and of course, obviously, we got the RSI, which is undersold here, or is oversold here, so we're down as well. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 indicators that we can count on, and so when all of them are screaming down, as they are right now, this thing's going down, kids. Where's it going down to? Well, no big shock. Right down to the AI line. Look how we touched off and we bounced back up. Bounced right back up to the other one. So you guys that are new to the charts, you ever seen anything like this before? Right down, right up. Perfect in the box. See? Does it every single time. Right along those lines. Right along those lines. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, so as far as what we're looking at right now for this, we have the start of a BART here, effectively. Looking at this, I can very easily see that. What we've got here is it's a choppy one nonetheless, but I expect that we'll probably be right down to that AI line. Why? Because we've got confluence right there. We've got support and resistance right there. So what you're seeing is the start of a BART. So anybody still hanging on to DigiByte? You guys have subscribed to the broadcast. I'm asking that in pure humor because I have no respect for this thing. I used to own a lot of this stuff, and I friggin' hate it. It's just not giving us what we need. All right, so this was a nice one. So this was a call line I threw in here. I said this is where it's going to touch off at. Sure enough, bang, we fell right on that line right there and rejected and came right back up. But again, we are, much like every other chart, we are still operating inside of that. Let me see if I can get. There we go. Whoops. Still operating in that very familiar channel there. So she's going to be rolling back down. She'll be tasting that line again and probably playing off. So what I would suggest probably is we'll probably play down there and probably do one of these things like that and then eventually capitulate and come down. DigiByte, I'll say this again for you guys that are new. I don't hate on DigiByte. I'm disappointed. We're disappointed. We're disappointed the young man is not living up to his potential. Basically, it's a fast coin. It's a good project. It's got so much good. What the hell is wrong with this thing? Well, guys, remember, if you've been holding on to it for a long time, you guys remember when there was supposed to be some big news that was supposed to come out last October, and they really just whipped the rug. Everybody was getting all uppity about the idea that they were just like, hey, this is gonna be it, man. This is gonna be it. They're gonna roll out some big impressive thing, and the dude just came out and said, yeah, we're not gonna talk about it. And then the market just went, well, what the hell happened there? And well, we'll get them in November. Well, then November didn't happen. And then what? Well, I was like, whatever. And so everybody just got so disillusioned with it. But meanwhile, you got a few of the woo-woo people going, oh yeah, any minute now, hockey stick. And like, oh, hockey something, but it ain't hockey stick. And horse hockey, that's what it is. And it just never did anything. And I was holding a lot at that time, and I'm just time value of money, man. I can't have it. I just can't have it. Not when I'm making these predictions for everybody else and watching everybody else get rich off of my damn calls. I'm like, well, this sucks. Mechanic drives the worst car in town. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, well, this sucks. I'm not even playing my own charts, and so I got out of it because I can't, and I'm glad it did. And shortly after that, it went from what was it, 2 cents to 6 cents, something like that. Good, great, fine, whatever. But at the best, you're talking is probably a 400% return. I'm sorry, but I can show you 400% returns all day long on anything else that's been going on in the same span of time. So even at its best, Digibyte has not given us what we need to see. And so I walk away from it and I don't look back. I mean, there might be a day when it finally does. But again, how much, if you would be bitterly holding on to it, waiting for the day, the one thing I want to impress upon you is remember, all these other horses are running the race right now. And Digibyte, Old Blue, she ain't got out of the paddock yet. So you're losing money right now just hanging on to this damn thing. Send it to the glue factory, goddammit, because I'm telling you, if you're hanging on to this thing for some day, that is the second worst thing that you can do. The first bad thing you can do is make a bad trade, just not thinking in the right time. But the second worst thing you can do is hang on to a crypto that basically doesn't have the fundamentals or anything that's really showing you a reason to be hanging on, other than someday. And Digibyte has some things going for it. But if I were to compare two things that you're hanging on to, like XRP versus Digibyte, I mean it's not even a horse race that can even be ran, for Digibyte, because I can point to many things with XRP that have reason for it to go up on the contracts that are signed with all the banks all over the world. Blah blah blah. We won't get into that tonight. But Digibyte, what do you got? DigiID, you got a couple things. Yeah, we're working on a few things. Well, shit, all coins aren't they? All coins got something going on. But that's not enough to be hanging and tying up your money. Get your money out there, or get it ready to put it into something that's going to do something. Now, obviously, this is not advice, but I'm going to tell you that as you sit there watching that blue turd do nothing, it's going to disappoint you. When you have all of your capital tied up in that bad boy, and everything else is skyrocketing and hits the bottom and then skyrockets, and Digibyte kind of plays but not really, you're going to wish that you would have gotten out of that damn thing sooner. All right, so let's go ahead and get back to T-Fuel here. Now, T-Fuel has really been kind of a unique thing in the fact that it just really hasn't been playing along with am I wrong, Spirit Bear? I don't know what else to call it. I don't mince my words in case you guys that are new to the live stream, you'll understand that. I'm just gonna shoot you straight, man. If it sucks, it sucks. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. And I have the right, because again, I was a holder. I was a big holder of it, so I speak from the heart there on that one. All right. So anyway, T-Fuel. T-Fuel fell into it. It tested the top of our box, obviously, and anytime we get a box, we test the top of the box and we fall into it, and we go to the bottom, and we come back and we ping pong around a little bit, and so now we're working our way towards basically figuring out, do we want to come down here in the ping pong zone? And the answer is yes, we do. Now, what we're looking for convincingly, and we don't have that much further to go, is we're looking for, and this is not the final call, it's just it's just one of those outrageous drop calls that I told you that eventually, sooner or later, it plays out. I'm still standing firm on that. Now, is that the very bottom at 12.5 cents? Might not be, but I do believe that we will hit it. So you're looking at, from where we're at now to here, you're looking at a 58% drop. That's pretty aggressive, but it's possible. Let me mute my mic for just a second here. I got to step out of the room for just a second. Hold on, just give me about 30 seconds here. Okay, pardon me. I'm getting just started roasting here. I'm sitting next to a computer. The computer that we have that powers ISIS and Anubis is a 100 terabyte. It's a big boy, and it puts out some heat. And it's sitting here probably about a foot and a half from my leg here, and it's like sitting on top of a radiator in the middle of summer. I'm like sweating inside. I turn on the air conditioner here. So, okay. But anyway, T-Fuel, you know, I'm not a fan. T-Fuel, I view it as a flipper coin more than anything. I think, you know, generally speaking, it's a solid project. I was really touting this thing hard when it was down in the 2 cent, 3 cent range, and everybody was Doge, Doge, Doge. I was like, Doge sucks, and you know, I was hating on Doge or something fierce because I was like, look, T-Fuel is where you want to be, and I was right. I was right because that damn thing woke up and it just tore, and. You know, I was vindicated on that. Now, it has since pulled back a little bit, not to an attractive price, though, as far as I'm concerned, from an investment standpoint, because you only got so many dollars or yen or, you know, shillings or whatever you're working with, clamshells, whatever you're working with, bones, that you can spread around. And I'm not a big diversity fan. You know, you want to be a little diverse, but some of you guys, I mean, Christ almighty, you got like 50 coins. I mean, how do you even run a portfolio like that? You know what I'm saying? And you know, so there's a point at which T-Fuel has to get down to be a viable option. Now, if it falls down into the 12-cent range, am I going to change my tune a little bit? Probably not. I'm never going to love it the way I did it, 2, 3, 4 cents. Of course, obviously. But if you're looking for you fast flipper guys, I'm speaking directly to you. You guys that are looking at something, you just want to make like a quick flip, you know, not emotionally attached to it or something like that. This would be the one I would be all about. This one and Bancor, and I've got a few others. But the reason I say that, and of course even Doge, the reason I say that is because the way that I view it is, if you're looking at a coin that, okay, everything's beat down price-wise, you know it's going to go up because everything's going to go up when the market starts going up. But the question is, you might buy a shit coin and it don't go up. I mean, you know, we have to concede that some of these may not get up off the floor once we get down to the floor. But will T-Fuel? Oh, certainly. I mean, you know, we're going to have a hell of a problem in this country, or indeed the world, for T-Fuel not to get up from a 12 cent or 11, 10 cent drop too. Then we got bigger problems worrying about our friggin' crypto. Would you agree? And so if we buy in at you know 10, 11, 12 cents, something like that, we're buying it not for asset appreciation. We're just buying it for the flip, just for the quick kill or the medium term kill. You know, we pick a price, we buy it, and then we pick an exit, and we're just passionate about it. And if I were to do this, I'm not handing financial advice. You guys all know the drill here. But if I were doing this, I would be buying in probably somewhere around about a dime to 12 cents. We're talking T-Fuel here again, so everybody's straight on what I'm talking about. If I were buying, I would be buying it at a dime to 12 cents, right in that range. Let's go ahead and say a dime, 10 cents, just to keep things clean. And I would be watching the exit at about $1, because it's a psychological sell point. We're going to get to $1 and everything's going to fall flat, because people are, you know, when Doge goes to $1, there's going to be a massive, you know, run on the exchanges to sell, because everybody's Doge to $1. I mean, there's even hashtags Doge to $1. You know, does that mean Doge and T-Fuel are going to stop at $1? Oh, most certainly not. So the question is, how long do you want to hold this? When do you consider this something you want to sell out of? You know, if I were to hold a dime, and I would probably be looking at that going, well, I want to beat all the rest of these jokers to the door, so I'll dump it at 85 cents, and that's a 800.5% return on my money, going from a dime to 85 cents. That's over 800% return on my, over 8x. That's not too shabby, you know, over 8x, and I'm talking in probably less than 4 months, 4 or 5 months by the end of the year. Let's just say that's 6 months. You know, think you could hang on to T-Fuel at 10 cents to dump it at 90 to $1 around there? And this is one of those easy to do deals that basically you get in, you buy it, you set the buy price now. When we drop down to it, you execute. You can be, sawing logs in the middle of the night or out to the movies or whatever it is you're doing. And that buy comes in. Hey, look, I just bought T-Fuel. Barron set a price for me, and I actually got it. Son of a bitch. And so you get it, and then you turn around. And you say, okay, where do I want to unload this thing? Well, maybe I want to unload it at 85 cents, 90 cents, whatever. Because I'm telling you, I fully expect $1 and then some in the short term. Not going to be at all surprised to see this thing at probably $1, $1.25 by the end of the year. I think $1 to $1.12 is very, very logical, very, very real. And I say $1 to $1.12 because I'm conceding that it's possible that we'll see enthusiastic wicks above $1. Because if we're going to go to $1, we have to kind of tease everybody a little higher. So I'll spot you about $1, $1.12. But in short order, we'll be working our way to $1.50, $1.75. So the question is, how long do you want to hang on to this ride before you can cash in your chips and get off? But could we go $2 T-Fuel? Certainly. $3 if you're patient enough. Yes. $4, of course. We can go on and on and on with this. Is T-Fuel ever going to go to $10? Well, it's one of those things where what's bread going to cost you? We've talked about that enough times. Question is are you into this for the short term? Are you into the long term? Know your exit before you ever touch that doorknob and walk in. Know your exit before you make your entry. That's the advice. That's the lesson for the day. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on to something else. So VeChain. So we just gave away some VeChain. Actually, I'll tell you what. Our winner on VeChain, he ended up wanting to get some free subscription to VeChain. So we went ahead and swapped him out. And so he didn't take the VeChain. He took several months subscription on the gold package for VeChain. So good on him. So hopefully he's using that to good growth. I haven't heard from him very much. And if he's in the live stream, welcome. Glad to have you with us, of course, obviously. So VeChain, again, to kind of refresh everybody where we're at here. And by the way, we're about ready to hit one of these fib lines here, or one of these fib circles here. So prepare for a drop. And again, there's another target hit. So she's going to go down, kids. Get out the buckets. The ship's going down. It's going down. Now, VeChain, to kind of bring everybody up to speed here, Anubis, which is our long-term forecasting AI, has this set for $7. In the next 36 to 48 months, right in that range, $7. Now, you're talking 7 cents right now. Now, we are not done going to the bottom. So this one is of high interest to the groups at unfairadvantage.chat, our Discord group. We talk about this an awful lot. Everybody in the group that I'm aware of has keen eyes on this thing. This one and another one called Reef, which we'll talk about later on tonight. And this is one of those life changers for you little guys that just don't have very much to spread around. Wouldn't fault you a little bit. In fact, I'd push you in this direction. If I were in the business of handing out financial advice, which I'm not, I would basically be pointing over at this one going, hey, look at this over here. Look at this over here. And, if you felt, I want to buy Bitcoin, I'd be smacking you because Bitcoin is never going to give you the return that VeChain is. VeChain doesn't even have to hardly get up off the bench to exceed the percent returns that you can get on this thing versus Bitcoin. Now, I know I repeat this an awful lot, but basics, it's kind of like learning a sport. Learning the fundamentals is what keeps you sharp at any game, and this is the game of trading. And my job as your coach, my job as your dude on the air or whatever you want to. My job as your therapist is to basically put you in the right frame of mind and get you to look through proper lenses at proper perspectives and proper trades. Now, Bitcoin, I will say again, is not a game any of you should be playing if you're looking to maximize percent return. It is not. Point blank, end of sentence, full stop. It is not. If you guys that bought back when it was $1, $2, God bless you. Hodl till you puke. I mean, I would never. If I owned Bitcoin back at those prices, hell no, I wouldn't be selling either. But if this is the new Bitcoin opportunity, so to speak. I mean, if you own Bitcoin from back at 7 cents and now it's sitting at whatever it's sitting at right now, yeah, why the hell would you? But you Johnny come ladies that want to buy yourself a fraction of a Bitcoin, don't play that game, guys. If you don't understand how investing works, subscribe to this channel. I will slap you. I will slap you into realizing exactly what's good for you. My job here, I'm a 30-year investor. I've owned several multi-million-dollar businesses. I'm a world traveler. I've touched every single continent in this world. And I've seen how money moves around. I've dealt with very, very powerful people and bankers, et cetera, and I bring my wisdom and my experience and freely give it to you because I want to help this world be a better place. Every single person within the sound of my voice, I'm here to help you. I have no alternative means for this. I'm not here to try and sell you something. If you want to come to my group for free. Glad to have you. I'm not here to put a hard pitch on you. I'm not here to try and sell you anything. I'm here to make the world a better place, to share my gift with you guys, because the greatest thing, I've already got my blessings. I'm doing just fine. I'm doing just fine. And you guys that are in these third world countries and stuff, we've talked about this many times. You guys that are lost your jobs and stuff like this is your last lottery ticket out. It really is. And I respect that, and I know that. I know a lot of you guys that are listening to this broadcast are looking for somebody. Some of you guys have prayed. I've heard the stories. Some of you guys have prayed and said, please bring me somebody that will steer me to the, I take my job very, very seriously, and it is a job. It doesn't pay, but in that respect, but I do take it very, very seriously. So when I'm teaching you things, I'm teaching you with heart because I want you to understand this. So let's get back to what I was talking about. Bitcoin will not give you the yield. So if Johnny has $1 and Johnny buys a Bitcoin apple, how many apples is Johnny going to hopefully get when his Bitcoin tree grows? He ain't going to have shit. Johnny is not going to have shit. So now if Johnny buys a VeChain tree and puts his seed in the ground, Johnny's going to have a whole fucking orchard. Point blank. Every once in a while, pardon my language, but I'm passionate about this. Johnny's going to have a whole friggin' orchard, is the bottom line. Because when VeChain goes from 7 cents to 14 cents, you just did the same mathematical gain that it would take Bitcoin going from 30 to 60,000. Do you understand the pure simple logic of that? Guys that don't understand investing 101. It's the most important thing you need to understand in this game. Don't buy what everybody tells you should buy. Buy what's right for your wallet. Okay? So, if VeChain never gets to $7, which it will, have faith. If VeChain goes to $1, do the math on 7 cents to $1. That's pretty damn good, So Bitcoin's not going to do that. Ethereum's not going to do that. Litecoin's certainly not going to do that. None of those blue chips are going to do the magnified gains of something like a VeChain or something like a Reef. Yeah. Now XRP, different story. That's a book in another part of the library. But yeah, that's a. But again, I have 3 coins that I absolutely will always bring to the table in a conversation: VeChain, XRP, and Reef. Those are the 3 that I will always bring to a conversation, because if you buy nothing else and you back those 3, not financial advice, just common sense. If you look at the fundamentals, if you look at the magnified use case, if you look at the magnified growth potential, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum does not stack up to even the worst day with any of those when crypto turns around. Now that's Jason asked a pretty good question. So is VET going up faster than? Well, we've talked about this, Jason. We've talked about, do you think you're just going to buy? So let's theorize that VeChain. Let's find something here. I don't keep my charts moving while I'm talking. Sorry. Oh, look at that. I've already got a target down here. So let's assume VeChain falls to a nickel. Okay. Now, in pure smartass answer to your question, Jason, are we going to go from a nickel to $7 in one shot? The answer is no. So will you be seeing ridiculous growth between now and the next 4 years? Every day you wake up, you're going to go, oh my God, I'm richer than I was yesterday. What a feeling that is, huh? So that's basically the way it works with these tiny, tiny little coins. So as you buy in at a nickel, which is, or whatever it gets down to, you buy that, and crypto starts to appreciate, and everything starts to go up, and we start to get past this god awful doldrum that we've been in for a while. You're going to look every time you look at your portfolio, you're going to just be beaming, knowing you're just richer and richer and richer every month. We'll have downturns, of course, we'll have pullbacks, of course, but I'm speaking by and large, broadly speaking. If you step back to the month level and you look month after month growth, week after week growth, or certainly year after year, you're going to be a whole hell of a lot higher than you are right now, this week, this month. So in short answer to your question, yes, it's going to go up fast. But the thing is, you still want to hang on to it. Don't sell your crypto, don't jump off the rocket before it reaches the moon. You know what I'm saying? Now, OMG, for you guys that join us at the unfairadvantage.chat, which is our free Discord, of course, for you guys that are drifting in here late, we like to give away free calls and stuff like this. This is the one I've long given away. You don't have to subscribe to charts. You don't have to do anything. We just love to have you be a part of it. And we like to just kind of give you something, just as kind of a little free gift to kind of show that I know what I'm talking about and kind of just help everybody. Everybody. I don't care how poor you are. I don't care, if you can only afford $100 worth of crypto, then I'm giving you something that you can watch and you can believe in. OMG is a very solid project, and this has been my free giveaway project that I have done. All calls, I maintain public calls on this stuff for free on our Discord. And let me go ahead and get that opened up here. And so I gave a call on this thing. Now, our AI bots have this thing predicted to hit $20 to $25 by the end of the year. That sounds absolutely ludicrous right now, considering we're staring at $3.87. But I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So I have also told you that, here was a call that went in. I've also told you that we're going to get a lot ickier before this gets better. Now, this call here is going to play out here in not that long when we get the next call down. Now, this is kind of an outlier, so we're waiting for that. But it's possible. It's possible. It's probable. So let me see how far of a percent down that is. I mean, that's 40. Let's just call that's a 45% drop. I would not doubt that, guys. I would not doubt that. I won't get into the mathematics of why. I explain this every single time, but yeah, I would not doubt that OMG could fall to $2.15, $2.25. Hang on, I'm reading Zach's comment here. Zach, I'll answer your question. Then you're asking it's above your pay grade, buddy. No, I'll answer that here in just a second. Just give me a second. I have a very short synopsis. You are asking a very brilliant question, Zach. Let me answer that here in just a second. Okay, so as far as OMG goes, so 45%, not that bad. So if we do manage to hit around here, let's just call it $2.25, and this thing goes and lights the candle, and up she goes, and we go up to the $25 range, multiple return for a free call. So you don't have to have that much money in something like this and end up getting more money than you probably ever put your hands on before. Now, I'm not suggesting you need to sell out this year, but wouldn't it be nice to be able to have the option to cash out at $20 to $25 when you bought the damn thing at around about $2? I mean, that's over 10x. That's for every $1 you put in, you get $10 plus back out. So back to your question, Zach. Time value money. Let's look at it this way. Let me clear the screen here. Let me explain. This is a very, for you math majors and you financial majors here, look the other way and grit your teeth here. I'm going to do something that's probably going to make your stomach turn because this is not pure math. This is just simple chalk talk. Okay. So let's look at how do I want to draw this here? I see it clearly in my head. I just want to be able to do this. So let's say you've got $1 and let's say you've got $100 goal here. All right. So let's make a grid. Let's do it this way. All right. So that represents year 1. That represents year 2, year 3, year 4. All right. So we are in year 1 baseline. All right. So we put in X number of dollars. All right. So we want to go. We're projecting 4 years out here. Okay, so it's 4 years to get to $100. So what are we really saying? We're saying that we have to maintain an average growth. If we put in $1 to get to $100, just keeping things relatively, we need to maintain a growth of what? 25%. I mean, we're not talking about compounding. We're not doing any of these weird things. But if we're going to go from $1 to 100, we have to maintain 25% additional growth every single year to get to our target. Correct? I'll just answer your question, or answer the question. Correct. So the answer that the short answer, time value of money. Time value of money, basically what it is like if I've explained this several times. I have two concepts going side by side. So we could look at this and say, okay, this is 4 years worth of money. My dollar has to give me a certain expected growth rate. So if you're investing in banks and stocks and bonds, you're looking at 5% or some ridiculous thing like that. But if we were to say, hey, listen, I'm going to pout if I can't manage to get 25% return on my money every single year, which would make your broker absolutely laugh in your face if you said that's what you wanted going in, because you'd never be able to do it for you reliably. But you can do it in crypto. And in fact, that's kind of piss poor results in crypto. But assuming you have $1 and you want to maintain a 25% growth every single year. In other words, the first year you want to be $1.25, blah blah blah. And so if you want to go from $1 to or from $1 to 100, you got to go 25x every single time you go up. Now, if I kind of lost my train of thought there, but if you're holding on, Digibyte would be a good example. So Digibyte being an open-ended investment. If I'm holding on to my money and I'm buying Digibyte, let's say I throw down $100 on Digibyte. I own $100 worth of Digibyte. Now, Digibyte goes, maybe it goes up about 1, 2, 3%, and I cash it out. Well, I just made 1, 2, 3% minus fees. Forget fees exist and stuff like that in the perfect world. So was that great if I held on to it for 2 to 3 months? Not really. 2%. If I held on to it for a year, kind of sucks. If I get 2% for a year's worth of holding on to my money, that's time value of money explained. Now, if I hold on to Digibyte and Digibyte goes, and we knew Digibyte was going to go to like $10,000 or something like that, and I held on to it for 5 years, then you chopped up that 5 years equally, and you could say, okay, listen, I made X number of percent every single year going all the way back. Then you can feel pretty good about it, but you can't feel good about it with Digibyte because you don't know. There's no data right now. We've got data. We've got speculation, granted. But we've got data, we've got use case, we've got stuff like that. We have a reasonable expectation. Some of this is obviously just a roll of the dice. Of course, obviously we don't know emphatically that $7 VeChain, but I can tell you when DHL, the third largest shipper in the world, just signed on to use it as their system, that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. So, we use the statistics, we use the probabilities, we use the information that we got, and I'm literally on the microphone right now. I'm literally like 1 inch from the microphone. That's about all I can do. My voice is starting to actually go to hell here. So pardon me. I'm doing the very best that I can. So anyway, the time value of money here. Not to spin off the rail too far with this. Basically, what you're looking at is you're looking at a target. You're looking at a start and a target, and you're saying, okay, however many months or weeks or years, if I chop that up, what percentage? It's mostly just academic. How much percent growth am I seeing it every single year on the way up to my target? If it only ends up being like 0.5% or 1% or some ridiculous thing like that, then you really didn't do all that well. And it's kind of a decision that you have to make along the way, but you have to make it up front. So a lot of this is calculated gamble. Hope that I explained that a little bit. I made that probably a little more complex than I should have, but time value of money is a real estate thing. I use it awfully. It's kind of like when you buy an apartment building. Are you going to see appreciation for how many years do you have to own the apartment building with tax advantages and blah blah blah. So I bring that discipline over from my real estate years, and but time value of money applies to any investment. If you're gonna put your money into something, you have to expect to be able to get a yearly return of what? So we'll talk about it again. I'm kind of in the zone here, so I'm trying to trying to cover as much as I possibly can here. Probably I divert an awful lot here, so I always like to try and be able to answer things for people as the questions come up. All right, so as far as VeChain goes, VeChain's looking really good though. But again, we're watching. We're still waiting for the call to come in here. Is right here, so we're just basically watching for that next line down. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No matter how you slice it, it's pretty damn good. All right, so Cardano, I'm kind of taking a back seat to, well, look at that. I'm kind of taking a back seat to really aggressively talking about this, but I'm sorry, I missed my target got hit, but my box was over just a little too soon. But right, boom, right in the box, dead center in the box. And again, here's that call, and we came down, we hit it, we went down to the next box, and look where we're at. Again, right back again. The magic is in the charts, guys, every single time. I mean, these calls, there's a lot of stuff that's going on here called sacred geometry. The amount of math that went into making this would stagger would stagger the average high school student. I have 3 masters in engineering, so I like doing shit the hard way. So I'm just naturally wired like this. So this is kind of I'm pattern recognition and overly complex mathematics is just something that I do very well. So. But it works, so that's the main thing. Now Cardano, as far as price goes, again we still got that dollar, about $1.05 fib, and that's a 2.618 Fibonacci ring and AI line as well. Very conceivable we'll get down there. Now again, I am holding out the call for being around about this purple line. Really honestly, anywhere, I feel pretty comfortable, more so than ever, telling you that really honestly, that's the buy zone as I see it. And that's anywhere from about 95 to 90 cents. Some have suggested, and I've actually shown a case where we may go as low as 75 cents. I don't see it on the chart here. But honestly, if you're a Cardano fan, you've had a chance to buy this damn thing at 90 cents back just after it got listed by Coinbase. So this is your second chance to do it. But again, Cardano, the reason I'm not all uppity about Cardano compared to my core 3 that I like so well, I believe this will do very well. Very well. But again, I want the fastest horse in the race. This is not it. This is a strong horse. It's a dependable horse. It's a good horse. It'll get you there. But again, do you want to drive an Oldsmobile or do you want to drive a Porsche? So this is not a Porsche. It's not a Ferrari. It's not a Porsche. It's not any of this. It's an Oldsmobile. It'll get you there. It's a good Oldsmobile. Don't get me wrong, but it's really I have let me see here. Hang on just a second. I see about $125. I've never let this slip on broadcast. I see about $125 is what Anubis is telling me on this. So if you're looking at getting in at 90 cents. And this goes to $1. It goes to $125. Not bad. Is it VeChain good? Oh hell no, hell no. See what I'm saying? So Cardano is one of those things where it's great. It really is. I mean, if all you had to eat was a plate full of Cardano, then Cardano would look absolutely delicious. But there's a buffet before you. You must pick and choose what you're gonna put on your plate. Cardano is definitely blue chip, but it's not the high flyer, fast runner. Some of these are just fun to play with, but at the end of the day, you got to pick the wise ones. Now, Zill, here's a double confirmation. We hit it right there. Down to the bottom of the red box, back up to confirmation again. Just exactly. Now, again, you can't see the blues clashing with the red here a little bit, but we hit right off the middle of that channel. We're rebounding nicely. We've come above the channel, but it doesn't really mean anything. Let's zoom in on that. You know, you can see we're interacting with the AI line here. We're kind of showing a little bit of bullishness, micro bullishness at best. I think honestly though that we'll pretty much be capped out right in this range right here because we've got so much confluence or so much support and resistance right there that I don't see that going any further than that. We're right back down. Now ZIL, I put ZIL in kind of like the second tier nice coins. Should you own them? Again, you have to remember that my point of view comes from I just want the fast horses. There's a lot of good projects, and this is certainly one of them. But you know, when you guys come at me and you're asking me, what would you do? What would you do? What I would do is probably not the same thing you guys would do. I understand the risks a lot deeper. I understand the high flyers, and I'm willing to concede that I might have to probably wait for XRP to do what it's going to do, but that's going to wipe a lot of sin away from having to watch ZIL and watch Cardano and watch some of these other ones take off, because whenever XRP does its thing, I mean, who gives a rat's behind? You know what I'm saying? And so ZIL is going to be one of those that'll do very well, but I caution you between buying ZIL, buying Cardano, et cetera, and going too thin and kind of doing well on a lot of them and not super on one or two. Now ZIL, as far as where I see it going, I don't want to give too much away for free on the public broadcast. I have shared my views on ZIL. ZIL will do pretty well. On par with a percentage range of what Cardano is going to do. Not the fastest horse in the stable. I will tell you that, but it will do very well. I mean, if you just had nothing but ZIL, you would do fine, but you can do better if you make the right decision. Same goes with Polkadot. Same goes with Aave. I haven't talked about Polkadot an awful lot. Polkadot is a good project. Should you own it? Again, it's always going to get back to that same conversation. Here we are. We get that very same right down to the AI line, right back up to the AI line, right back down to the AI line, and right back up to it again. Just perfect. Classic moves every single line, all the way down and all the way up. Now, this thing is kind of hitting right on the 200 EMA. That's this baby blue line right here. So what are we looking at? We're looking at just a continued, if we want to do... wanted to go ahead and do the same thing we've done several times. We're looking at the same thing. We're just working our way down. So again, boring. This is why I'm not doing very many broadcasts right now, guys, is because it's like I'm going to end up telling you the same thing on every broadcast. We're waiting, and that's not very sexy and it's not very exciting. And I understand. I know you guys are losing your cool, and it's getting very hard to sit there and watch this stuff, but that's by design, guys. It's by design to wear you out, shake you out, get your crypto, get you out, get you to capitulate and sell, take the loss, walk away, and never gain, never reap the rewards that are coming. This is just it. Nothing good in life ever comes easy, cheap, free, or fast. It's the truth. I mean, all you guys are adults. You know this. Some of you are younger than others. Some of you know it a lot better than others. But the truth is, I mean, you've got to take a realistic perspective. There's people that are doing cartwheels about making 10% on their stocks when, any day, even in a shitty market, I can show you 10% gains on crypto. So you got to get a matter of perspective. How come I'm not getting my 150, my 500x returns? Because nothing gives you that fast. If you want it, it's like fishing. You got to bait your hook, you got to throw it in the water, and you got to drink a beer and chill the friggin' hell out. You just got to basically sit in the boat and wait, and that's what we're doing. We're waiting. So 1inch. Now, you guys that are new to the live stream, definitely take a chance. Subscribe to the YouTube broadcast here. We do have another contributor, Red Bear. He goes by Spirit Bear here. You see him in the chat. He's our tech expert. He's our guy that covers all of our new coins. Now, Red Bear has a thing now where we're doing deep dives on every single crypto, and so he just rolled out expose or a breakdown on 1-inch network. That's our first one in our series. So be sure to subscribe to this channel and check that out. You'll find it in our listings. It's 1inchnetwork.io. And it's a fantastic start. It's a good project, guys. Looking at going back here and looking at these four here are decentralized exchanges. Uniswap was kind of the market leader for a while. It had its day in the sun. Now it's just rolling over and dying. And Pancake. I brought Pancake to the group, and this thing just exploded right after I made the call on it. And Uniswap. And same thing goes for Sushi. I mean, I nailed all these things. I said, guys, buy it, or I didn't say buy it. I said, take a look at this. And shortly after I did, woof, it just took off. And this one did it. And this one did it. And I have been screaming and preaching and proselytizing this thing. Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. Look at this, look at this, look at this. And it hasn't had its day yet. But this one, I'm here to tell you, boys and girls, is so much better than these three put together. You have no idea. You have no idea. These guys have a better interface, a better situation, a better setup. They price shop. I won't even get into how it works. Spend some time over at the number 1inch.io. If you guys, it's a decentralized exchange. You don't have to. If you want to swap one coin for another, that's what it does. But these guys are going to be getting into pretty much going to. Bear didn't really cover it, and I don't know if he actually heard the. I hear things he doesn't hear, but these guys are making a bid to basically be the new stock market. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard that or realize it, but these guys have got so many aggressive plans of up and above and beyond just simple decentralized exchange. It's ridiculous. So we're sitting here at a price right now of $2.34. I mean, not to make any suggestions, and certainly don't do it. If you were just to pull the trigger right now, oh my God, what you got coming in the future will dwarf $2.35. Dwarf it. But we are going to go lower because right now nobody knows. Nobody knows, and everything's going lower. So if this thing gets down to like $1, $1.10, $1.12, or wherever it is, we have this thing forecasted, and we do have some target lines. We've got one right here at about $1.72, but we are going to be going lower. And I do have one right here at $1.75. There we go. So this call here, you can see this. Look how crazy this is. We were going up, and I'm like, no, we're going down. Through this call, this long call on here. And lo and behold, we've just been creeping down to make it so. Lower and lower and lower. I can't compress this, but eventually we're going to hit this line at $1.75. Now, $1.75 is probably not going to be the end of it. No, certainly not. So that's only 25% from where we're at, and we're definitely going to go lower than that. So we probably could be at $1.25, $1.10. That was kind of, as I recall, having a discussion with guys a while back. But whatever it is, as we get closer, Bitcoin gets closer to that 24,000, I'll start filling out these charts with targets and stuff like that. So even though there's no targets on here yet, again, it's like I don't want to give you guys a bunch of bullets to start shooting yourself with. When the time is right, I'll start letting you guys know this stuff. Yeah, 1-inch, again, you don't want to overbuy too many and get too over-diversified. But second tier line of buys. Would I buy 1-inch over Cardano? I probably would. Because I personally know what's coming for this thing, and I've kind of heard an awful lot of grumblings from upper tier bankers about what's coming. This is on the radar of some very, very powerful financial luminaries. There's some big money behind this. I'm looking at it. So anyway, be paying attention to this. If you've never had a chance to actually use it, use it. Once you're a client, you're going to want to be an owner, definitely. Now, 1-inch, if I remember correctly, 1-inch could be used to get Reef. Let's go ahead and jump on down to Reef. Reef is one of my top 3 that I told you. This is a life-changing coin, guys. This bad boy is going to go from where it is right now. It's going to go even lower down into our red box watch zone here. I've got her marked and ready to go. I want to see us get down in the watch zone. We've got the target call is right here. So when we come down onto this, we're going to know we're getting close. This is not the buy zone. It's the watch zone. It's 24%. We can do 24%. Easy in a crash. Where the buy zone is probably somewhere down here. sub red box. We'll know when we get closer. I will update as we get closer. I gotta. ISIS is starting to put these lines down here. So the lowest line that ISIS has got right now is sitting at 9 cents. But when she starts drawing some new lines down here, and I have some new things to pick up on, then I'll start giving you hardcore calls that are based upon technical analysis. But Reef is it's just a gorgeous project, guys, because Anubis has this thing forecasted at $3.36. And I know you think, wow, that's not that much. Yes, but we're talking about a coin that's a penny. Less than a penny. When this thing hits the bottom, less than a penny. Less than a penny to $3.36 is a magnified return Bitcoin will never do. Cardano will never do. Ethereum will never do, even on its best day. So this is one of those ones that if you're a little light in the wallet, you don't have that much to throw. This is they're all speculative, and I'm not giving financial advice. This is one I would point at it and go, look at this over here, because this one coupled with the other one I talked about earlier are your best percent. The other two I've talked about earlier, your best percent gains probability. And again, you don't have to go all the way up to $3.36 to get just massive returns on your money. If this thing comes in at a penny and you buy it at a penny and it goes to $1, holy shit, you just made crazy ass amounts of money. You just every penny you put in turned into $1. Think about that for a second. You think that's life changing for everybody in the sound of my voice? I've never even heard of that, Stark. I don't. You guys, you got to realize, man. I spent my time basically marketing, helping my son with what he does. He's got his own thing that he does within the crypto world. You'll hear me reference him an awful lot. He's the guy that maintains and operates Fibby charts, and I have my thing over here. He has his thing over there, and the two kind of partner together but are not connected. So but I feed my data as a public data that he picks up off of, and it's just one of those things that I'm very busy with a lot of different projects, such as marketing, and then of course obviously I do other things too, and so I don't have time to really get into the research. That's why I've got a team. I've got Red Bear, I've got some of my other guys that are my assistants, and so if I don't know, one of my guys probably does. But I simply don't have the time to read every piece of news and talk to the hundreds of people that are in the Discord and stuff like that. And it's a full-time job just staying up with the DMs. It's getting to the point where I wake up in the morning or whenever it is I get up. I mean it's crazy. Half of my day is spent just returning DMs. Before I ever even crack my first chart open. So, but it's fun. But at some point in time, I'm going to have to probably. I'm probably not going to be as accessible as I am right now because it's getting to the point where it's starting to affect the work, or I don't want it to affect the work. So nothing against any of you guys that send me any DMs. If I seem like I'm giving you the cold shoulder, I'm doing it as respectfully as I possibly can. So just understand that. So it's just the nature of reality. So. All right, so let's get up to a couple other things here. So Bancor, this is our flipper coin. Used to be Orchid, and Orchid's kind of a piece of crap, so I don't even talk about Orchid anymore. But there you go. There's the call. There's the hit. And this one here is going to be the next one. This here, I would wager that this one right here will play out right here, and I'll show you why I think that. So let me get my TA hat on here, and let's go ahead and extend that down to here. So I'm going from what we call the armpit to the point, and if I bring that from this point here where we are down to there, that puts us sub that point there. We gotta have to go up just a little bit more before we get that. Hang on. No, I might actually have had that right the first time. Hang on. There we go. Okay. Yep. Guess I had it right the first time. There. So from that point there to the green line, that fulfills. So this is standard TA plugged into the grid. So that will be playing out here probably within the next 48 hours, I would imagine. Now again, I always like to kind of use my channels. Channels are a really good indicator of what's going on. I have to kind of, there we go. Kind of pulls your eyeballs straight. When you do the channel, you can kind of see what's really going on. We got 1, 2, 3 touch points, 1, 2 on the bottom. So we're ambling. So we're probably going to go right across the top of that, and we'll come right on down. So it ain't no thing to be thinking. We'll probably be doing something like that. Now, Bancor is one of those coins. We'll talk about this for a minute. Bancor is one of those coins that is very much like T-Fuel, where T-Fuel is probably a little is more stable from a use case because nobody needs Bancor. I mean, let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. Nobody needs Bancor. T-Fuel has use case. However, Bancor it is kind of to a lighter degree a banker's coin. It's on Coinbase. It's got a little bit of merit. You know, it could fall flat and kind of screw you, but for the time being, I don't feel too bad about it. But I've swing traded the crap out of this thing, and you know, now that we're at the very bottom, or darn close to the bottom, you got one hellacious swing getting ready to happen. So I would look at Bancor as much the same way that I would look at T-Fuel. Look at it as just a way to make some easy, crazy, quick cash. When this thing strikes bottom, buy it and then pick your exit, because all you got to do is simply, I've shown this on past live streams with Ocean. I can't really do it here because I'm on the wrong time frame. But I can't shrink this down enough to really demonstrate it to you. But there's levels all the way up where I'll chart for you guys that do finally buy in on this. But there's levels that you can literally track and say, okay, I want to make 100%, 200%, 400%. It would not surprise me at all if you buy the bottom of Bancor when that comes in. Would not surprise me at all that we will regain ground just within the past historical range, to say nothing of busting the glass ceiling. Would not surprise me at all that you could 10x your money. For every buck you put in, you pull back $10. So you want to put in 100, you pull back 1,000. Put in 1,000, you pull back 10,000. So Bancor has that potential. Now, it's going to wildly swing all the way to the top. Don't get me wrong, because that's what this thing does. However, you have one magic bullet in your chamber here. We will be at the bottom. Once we hit the bottom, we're not going to be at the bottom again. So this is, I kind of drifted off point at the first part of the live stream. This is a unique time in crypto for us all. We are in the bearish part of a bullish market. We're not going to see this again. Meaning, you know, if you manage to buy these coins that you're interested in for the long-term prospect, for the short-term prospect, know your exit before you make a purchase. Don't just get on a wild buying spree because, oh, some of that sounds good. Oh, some of that's good. Know what you want and why you want it and what you're going to do about it once you get it. I cannot tell you how many people are in our Discord, are in our group, are in our live stream, or call me, message me. I talk to them daily. Why'd you buy that? I don't know. Well, Jesus, and why are you buying this stuff if you don't know? So, second question is do you know what you want to sell it for? Well, no. I mean, come over here. I got a bridge I want to sell you. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, guys. Some of you guys really got a problem with this. And I don't mean to berate you. I don't mean to belittle you. I'm trying to talk some sense into you. Why did you buy these coins? Did you buy them because some guy on YouTube told you, who didn't give you any facts, who didn't show you any charts, that didn't give you any specific? Well, everybody else is buying it, and everybody else is jumping off the cliff. I'm going to jump off too. Well, you just jumped off holding a big old bag of money. So how is that working out for you? So when you guys are buying this stuff, I'm gonna pull you back to the basics and to the fundamentals every single time. So what I want you to do is stop and ask yourself, because I'm going to ask you the same question. If you're asking me, what you show me this, you just open your wallet and show me your portfolio. Hey, look at all this stuff I own. What do you think I should do? And I will have a talk with you guys about what I think. Many of you done it, and I'm happy to do that for those of you that are in the proper levels of subscription or whatever. I have gotten some of you guys to pare down your portfolio, because once I start to point out the obvious flaws, you start to see it for yourself. And let's be honest, you probably do it anyway. You knew you had no reason to be buying that Ethereum or that, when you could have taken that money and bought something that was undervalued that had more growth potential, but you bought Ethereum because whatever. Now Ethereum, it's probably a bad example because Ethereum you need for gas, but you bought Litecoin. There would be a shitcoin you don't want, overpriced shitcoin. There is nothing. Let me get on that rant and that tangent. There's nothing, not a single one of you that does not own Litecoin should be buying Litecoin right now, as a case in point, because there's no way you're going to get the highest and best use for your dollars, your yens, your seashells, whatever it is you're buying with. You want to buy these things like a Reef that has the best growth potential, and so. We'll get to Doge. You don't want to be buying these things. And so when you come to me like, well, I bought it. Well, how much you buy? You generally paid too much for it in a down market, and it's violating all these things that I'm telling you. Don't be buying anything right now. Well, I bought this last week, and you come to me after you bought it, you dummy, and you say, well, can you help fix me? I'm like, well, I was telling you on live stream, because I know you were on live stream listening to me, that right now is not a good time to buy. Yet you went and done did it, and now you want the doctor to give you a pill to fix your problem. I've got to be ruthless with some of you guys, because it's basically the only way you learn. And so if you're in these positions, basically, to kind of sum this all up, if you're in these positions, everything that you bought that you shouldn't have bought, probably you better just hang on till you're profitable and just take your lumps, add new cash to new deals later on at the bottom. I would never suggest any of you sell at a loss and don't try to chase knives to the bottom, because that's a stupid way to invest. Stupid way to invest. Bring in some new money and buy the bottom. Hopefully you didn't go all in on something like that. So we will talk about Doge here in a minute, because that is Doge and Shiba both we will talk about here in a minute. But it's just the thing is you guys that are very itchy to buy stuff right now. I'm telling you, you're just shooting yourself in the foot, because if you just have patience right now, say for example, you buy Bancorp and you're like, well, yeah, it's going to go up. Yes, and it's also going to go down. It's going to go down a lot. So if you buy let's say you buy 100 Bancorps at $3, good. You'll do fine. But the guy that listened to me that waited and then it went down to $1.50 is going to own twice as much for the same amount of money. Follow what I'm saying? So don't be that guy that you buy too soon, you screw yourself on so many fronts. So don't do it. Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about Doge. So. Now Doge is part of my trifecta of canaries in the coal mine. We're watching. There was my green box. I told you we're gonna be watching that green box. We ricocheted right off the top of it. Now, there's a couple of calls that I did earlier. All right. So here was one that just basically out of nowhere, when everything was all up. Now, see, this is the magic of this system. So let me go back and show you. This right here should never have done that. Never have done that. And what it should have done is it should have went up like that. That is a classic bull flag. But Anubis basically said, nope, it's going down. And I'm like, okay. And so I put in the arrow and I pulled out the TA. I said, guys, it's going to go down. And look at in the span of, let's see, what was it? In the span of about 4 hours after I put that call, we started to go down. 4 hours after I made that call. And we went down and down and down, sideways, and we got a double confirmation. Same line, we hit it right there. So it took from here to there. It took a grand total of 2 days, 20 hours to the T. Hit it perfectly. Now, I stopped paying attention to it because, I do sleep. Occasionally I sleep. We went sideways. And I don't watch these charts all the time. So, we don't have calls every little micro move. But we went sideways, and I wasn't expecting anything. And so by the time I got back on it, I said, okay, here's your next call. We're going to be hitting this box right here. And sure enough, boom, we hit the box. We're back up. Now, I did give you a little theory. I said, well, I think we might possibly be going up a little bit. We basically kind of went about halfway, as the exchanges tend to do. Now, technically speaking, this call arrow, what we call velocity, meaning the distance from top to bottom, is actually a perfect call. You can see it. If you put it right in the pit right here to the point, it actually is a perfect call. Point to tip. It was exactly. I didn't have it placed in the exact spot because I wasn't paying that close of attention to it, and I moved on to something else. But this velocity was picked up right here, and I said it has to play out somewhere. And sure enough, if I would have put it right here in the pit, it would hit right on that wick and hit perfectly. But I wasn't on that, and I was just kind of being flippant because, again, it's nothing I would have encouraged anyone to put any money into. It's just kind of a fun little, we're just watching as this thing burns itself down. So certainly, I know that nobody that I'm aware of is putting any money on these calls, and I don't recommend that you do because we are going to go lower. So right now, currently, we're still looking at that same damn check mark thing that we're looking at. We can do the same chart. Again, we're still in that same formation. We're gonna retest this green. We're gonna go into the green, and we're gonna go below the green. And what I'm looking for, what I'm waiting for, is I want to get out of this damn yellow box. Because when we do get out of this box, that's when we're gonna start seeing some money spent. You guys remember Crypto Rich? We've talked about him. For you guys that are new to the live stream, I'm going to tell a story briefly one more time. We've got a guy that is in this group that came into the group. He's average bread and butter guy. He bought himself an apartment complex and came to one of my real estate seminars that I was teaching way back when, and I encouraged him to sell his apartment complex because I said the market's gonna take a shit. This was a couple years ago. Everybody thought I was crazy. He took my advice and he sold, and the market did exactly that. And the guy who bought his apartment complex is now bankrupt, and meanwhile he's $150,000 richer having sold out of that. So he came back to me. He said, "Hey, what are you into now?" I said, "Crypto." And so he started to become one of the early members of the group, and he focused in on Doge, and he is a Doge maniac. He's done 18 perfect calls, taking $150,000 to well over $10.125 million in 90 stinking days. 90 days, kids. $150,000 to over $10 million. He is debt-free. He's got his dream car. He's got dream vacations. He hasn't worked an honest day since then. He just goes and plays with his kids. He's living the life. He's living the life that you all dream to eventually live. We'll get there, guys. We'll get there. He's maniacally focused. So he takes a great deal of interest, and he's in the live stream. I can see him. He's in the live stream tonight. He's not going to talk because security is a big concern for him. So he doesn't interact an awful lot in the live stream. So, but good to see you in the chat tonight there, Rich. I see him in there. So anyway, he's given me permission to kind of disclose generalized stuff and stuff like that. So last time him and a couple of my big dogs bought in right there, and they flipped it. They got back out again. They made the $125,000 on a $10 million flip. So they're waiting for the big buy. This is the one to kill it all. So they've got a group of about 4 diamonds that are going to go into this thing, super heavy. And I'm looking at my Discord here on my other thing. Is it okay? Is it okay if I give that number out publicly, Rich? Okay. So, are you sure? Okay. All right. So him and his group are going to do $30 million on Doge. $30 million, kids. So I'm not going to put the target call on here specifically, but it's below. And it's not this, by the way. Let's put it this way. It's between that and the yellow box. So when this thing gets convincingly outside of the yellow box, $30 million is getting slapped down on the dog coin. And that's not just Rich. That's him and 3 other guys that are members of Fibby charts in the diamond level. So, you guys know my history with this thing. I mean, I still love to disrespect it, but you can't argue with infrastructure and adoption. So, I've moved my ire over onto Shiba. Just because I like to poke people and annoy them, I like to kind of shit on their hopes and dreams. No, Shiba, it'll be okay, guys. But again, I'm telling you, be careful with it because it is still at meme status. It doesn't, yes, I realize that it's had some new recent things that have been adopted and stuff, but it is still early. It is still early for Shiba, so be careful. I know a lot of you guys are coming at me with some reasons why I should probably adopt your religion, but I'm not quite ready to sing out of your hymn book yet, okay? But meanwhile, I'm over here in the cult of Doge now with Rich. So that's the news of the day. So, and I don't like to have to tell Rich's story every single time, but we do get an awful lot of new subscribers and new followers that don't know all about Crypto Rich, and you'll see him interact. He was in the chats today, and yeah. So I forgot about that. So his wife is talking him into getting a dog. So he is going to get a Shiba dog. So I saw him talk about that. So his wife is out shopping for a Shiba dog because, well, basically Doge has changed their life, so they've got to have a mascot. So they're going to get a dog, and they're going to call him Baron. So I get a dog named after me. So I know you're all jealous. None of you have dogs named after him, but apparently I'm going to have a Doge dog named after me here. So in the rich house, in the Crypto Rich house. So I guess that's an honor. All right, so let's take a look at this. Now, this is forming what many would define as accumulation. Just right now, let me. I've got the pretty rainbow charts out here. Let me get rid of this because I know this confuses people. All right, so a lot of people would define that as accumulation. It's kind of funny because when I hear people say, "Oh, it's accumulation," it seems like most people don't even realize when accumulation comes into play. And they don't really, generally, what most people who don't understand market movements do is they pick up these keywords, these code words, these buzzwords, and they use them like, they're trying to act smart, like they know what they're talking about. Oh, well, this is accumulation. No, it's not. It's not accumulation. We're not in a market that anybody wants to accumulate anything right now. Did I just poke a hole in some theories? I'm sure that probably rings pretty true with some of you guys. Is any of you in accumulation mode? So tell me who is. This is not accumulation. This is market indecision. Know the difference. Market indecision. This is not market manipulation. This is only 12 hours of just back and forth nothingness. And it's a slow market right now. It is just, it's going 9 p.m. Chicagoland time here in the Midwest. And Asia's just getting ready to come online. So it makes perfect sense. Markets are closing in one place. Markets aren't open yet. This is not accumulation. This is doldrums. This is layover. This is not accumulation. Okay, so accumulation runs 3 or 4 days. Don't use it as a rule, but generally speaking, you could still define that as like indecision. Honestly, accumulation is kind of like it's just a catch-all for people that don't have anything else to say, that want to sound like they're an authority on something. So take that for what it is. But you can surely understand what I'm telling you. That can you think of anybody that is accumulating anything right now? Let me put it to you this way, and I'll get off this point. If this is accumulation, then why the hell weren't they accumulating? If they wanted to buy, why weren't they buying it right here? If they wanted to sell, why weren't they selling right here? Or why aren't they selling right here? If this is not a point of accumulation. Accumulation happens when we generally we go up. We really go up. We sell off. That's nobody accumulates at the top. They accumulate at the bottom. This is not the bottom, and we all know it. People who know how to read a chart know this is not the bottom. So that's not accumulation. That's just indecision. That's shift change. Asia's coming online. North America's going offline. That's all it is. Now again, to fit this inside of a standard, let me go ahead and mess with this a little bit. All right, so if we wanted to kind of take this and maybe kind of concede that might be, yeah, I'll work with that, that's fine. We're basically inside the top part of the thing here. So what we're really looking for ultimately here is I would truly expect if we have to I would expect that more than anything, because again, where is the market truly going? Where have I said the market's going? It's going down. So I'm not expecting, classically speaking, yes, I'll concede that it should do that. I don't think we're ready for it yet. Now, if it pumps, it will pump to about that AI line right there, but I don't think it's going to happen. And the reason I say that it will pump that far is because that's the measured move from there to there. We take, whoops, excuse me. Then I'll put it right there. But I don't think that's going to happen. Now, again, we do have some support and resistance right there, but we've also got it right here as well. Heavier there. We've got it right here. We've got it right here. So, if anything, we would probably have support and resistance right there. But again, if we manage to go up like that, I would imagine we would go up and just as easily turn around and come right back down again. So I'm watching for these gray arrows that haven't played out yet. I'm leaving them there. As I've done many times, I leave these arrows and all of a sudden they come back out and they can surprise you and come out of nowhere. But from where we're at right now to get to the top of the yellow box, which is really where the action is and where I want to be, I want to see us at the top of that yellow box and then very shortly into it. So from there to there, that's only 13, 14%. That's easy, easy. Now, again, it shouldn't surprise anybody from the top of the box to that's 20%, slightly over 20%. So I want to see us come out of this channel through these AI lines to the top of this box, capitulate, get into this box, ping pong along a little bit, and then start throwing some new predictive lines down here. And in short order, that's been sitting here for a while. I've taken it off the call, but we do have, from an earlier session, we do have predictions clear down here. That might be a little aggressive right now, but that's probably why I removed the arrow. But if we just wanted to just broadly see where it takes us to get us down to 40%, 40% puts us right here. 50% puts us on the ring right here. Yeah, there you go. So that's our 40%. This is our 40%, and this is our 50%. So you guys are on cell phones here. Let me do this. This is probably a little easier for you guys to. I gotta kind of respect the idea that a lot of you guys are working off of cell phones. So I'm there. Okay, I'm going to leave those on the charts for you. Okay, they're not calls, they're just level. So when the AI lines come in and start throwing down lines, you watch. They're going to come. They're probably going to hit these green lines almost exactly. So again, if we're going to be coming from where we're at right now down to the first green marker, that's a 43% drop. Very conceivable to do. Second drop, 56% drop, which would be on this Fibonacci circle right here. So that would be there. So those numbers, let me go ahead and scooch those over here a little bit. Now that I've got them. So I'll just put them over here just to keep them out of the way. So this one's highly likely. This one's kind of a little bit of an outlier. But if you really, really, really just can't live without getting a whole damn bag of this, those are the prices to be doing it at. Okay. All right, so Populous. We haven't talked about Populous for a while. So right into the red box and right back out of the box. So I had, I'm not sure what I was doing. I think I moved an arrow here. That wasn't a call. I don't know what that. I think that was an earlier something or other. Oh, I know what that was. Okay, right timing. Yeah. When we were coming down, I think I was over here and I was making a prediction that we were going to come down to the red box, which we did. Normally I use a straight line, so yeah, we did. So that's just, I don't normally hand drawn arrows like that, but so you could call that a ping if you like, and I do. All right, now red box on Populous here. I want to get into this red box and I want to get down to the 60 cents. I'm still floating the idea that we could come down here. So now if we come from where we're at now down to there, that is a 66% drop. That's pretty aggressive, but Populous is a wild stallion. It can do that. Well, I mean, case in point, look at this goddamn thing. I mean, you know, anything's possible. I mean, we've got, if you really want to look at this, this is an opening move. And again, go back and listen to my past videos to understand what I mean by opening and closing move. That move right there needs to be bookended, I guess, for lack of a better description. We have this giant move. We either have to give it back slowly, or otherwise we've got to open it and we've got to close it. And to me, it looks like we're doing option A. We're giving it back progressively. So if we want to close that formulation out there, really it brings us to this line right here, which is where we started this whole thing to begin with. So to go from here to here is 30%. Easy to do. So if we manage to do that in a short period of time, then yeah, we could go a second move the other 30% and get ourselves down to 60. So 30 plus 30 will bring us down to 60. Super easy. Now, if Populous, you guys do your research and see where we were at originally with this thing, what its all-time high was. This thing, I don't want to put it in the same category as an XRP or a Reef or something like that, because it's not as guaranteed, or a VeChain, because it's not as guaranteed in that same vein. But if I were to have a tier below that where I'm like, okay, a little more speculative, also still pretty good, Populous would be in a tier 2 strategy where, okay, I bought all the XRP I think I want to buy, I bought all the Reef I want to buy, I bought all the VeChain I want to buy. And I don't think you really can do such a thing, but let's assume for sake of argument that that's what you're saying to yourself. Then I got some extra money left over, I want to buy one more coin. Okay, Populous. Populous would be a good one to do if you buy it right. If you buy it at the bottom, you get it you snatch it up and grab it at the very bottom and then hang on to it. Then it becomes speculation, because this thing does what this thing wants to do. I mean, there was nothing else moving like this when this happened. There was nothing else moving like this when this happened. This coin has just got a mind and a pattern all its own. You know, there was a while where it just wasn't following jack. When everything else was going up, down, it was going up and down, and everything else was just kind of treading along. And then all of a sudden it kind of snapped and got in with the program, but then it got right back out. So it's just kind of got its own way of doing things. But when this thing does start to finally get to an appreciable level where it starts to get use case, and it will, because it's a factoring coin. I won't get into what that means tonight. Go back and do your homework. Go back and listen to some past broadcasts. We've talked extensively about Populous. But when it does get into its own, I fully expect that it's going to hit those all-time highs and more, because it is a useful coin. And time frame for the big payouts? Oh, I would say within 12. I would say comfortably within 24 to 36 months. So if you're looking for a faster payback than XRP or not XRP, than Reef or something like that, this might be your coin, because with the wild mood swings that this thing does, you could catch yourself a 10x or 20x on this thing a hell of a lot faster than you could some of these other coins. That's theory, mind you, and not advice, but but if you can get Populous down here at these ranges that you could conceivably pick it up at 60 cents. You got really very little to lose. Even if it goes from 60 cents to back up to this all-time high, shit, man, you're making, this is $3.12 from 60 cents. Just this move alone would make you pretty damn happy. You know what I'm saying? Now, Matic is another one. I've had some discussion with some of my banker buddies. All right. Now, Matic is a little bit more important of a token than perhaps I was probably leading you to believe. My problem with Matic in the short term is not the coin itself. It's the, as I said on the last live stream, is not the coin itself. It's the things that are going on inside the chart. Let me show you. And that's not a fault of the coin. It's a fault of market manipulation. I mean, call it what it is. But let me get back here to some point here if I can find. Yeah, okay. I can't zoom in on this very well, but let me just kind of, we're talking about this motion right here. So this thing had basically nothing going for it. It just went sideways, and just all of a sudden, I called and I said, hey guys, I think something's going to happen here. And then it did. And then it did again and again. And I called it all the way up. Called it all the way up. Every single one of these things called it on the way down. But here's the point that I want to make. And this is something you don't see. Matic went all the way up to whatever it went up to. It went all the way up to $2.70 from a low, well, down here in the 70 cents, we'll say. Now, as impressive as that is, here's what's not impressive. Two things about this. From here, it dumped like a son of a bitch. Down here, it went down here like that. That's not normal. That went down, we'll call it 90 cents. That was a 90% downside wick. Holy crap. Whiplash, nosebleeds, and all the fun that goes with it, right? Okay, well then it's back up. And then it had a slow, progressive, steady give back of 100% of what it offered. In other words, it grew all that money and took every single peso back. Every single nickel, every single dime, every single shell, whatever, back. That's not normal, kids. What ends up happening in pullbacks are 30%, 40%, 50%, sometimes 60%. Scary, sometimes 70%. That's not a pullback, that's a crash. But it's not 100%. You don't run up and give back 100% statically. But what you damn sure don't do is you damn sure don't turn around and do it again right after you do it. You don't go back up to 90% of all-time recent high, and there was a much higher high, but all-time recent high, you don't go back to 90% and then come back and act like this is a normal pullback. This is a weird chart. There's no other way to put it. You ran up 100%, you took back 100%, you ran up 90% of that, and then took back 30%, and then you're just on business as usual, acting like a normal crypto. I don't like that. No, sir. No, sir, I don't like it. And so for that point alone, I was very cautious about telling anybody. Everybody's like, Matic. I'm like, would you really go to a casino that did that to you? I mean, does that seem like an honest chart now that I've described it that way to you? I'm going to compress it a little bit more. But does that look, and then we just went sideways. Now, you could almost call that accumulation right there. That is accumulation. That's people kind of grabbing. What this is after this, you could almost define that as accumulation, but I was not. I was saying it was going to go down lower, and lo and behold, look what had happened. It did go down. Went down to every single one of these points. But here's the thing. Matic is down 64% from all-time high. Yeah, okay. But here's the thing. Matic is a good coin. We won't get into the science and application of Matic, but the powers that be want this coin to be a player, okay? So if you are, I'm not going to go out on a limb yet and call it blue chip, but you can firmly put Matic in the same tier as something like a Polkadot, something like a Cardano, something like I don't know, above a ZIL. You can put it above a ZIL. Should you own it? Well, as part of a larger portfolio, yes. Should you buy it for the easy money, whatever? Well, I don't think you're going to get easy money with Matic. This weirdness is not to be repeated, granted, but it did spook me a little bit, and I was right about it because you guys were quite hot and heavy about buying in on this. I'm like, I wouldn't. Well, I was justified. Look at this. I told you guys I wouldn't be buying in on this, and I was completely right. And so I made this call here. We hit it. So where do you think my next call is? Cha-ching, right there, baby. And I'll back it up with something we all know and love. What do you see there? Green Fibonacci line, gold AI line. What happens when you get two of those together? Magnetic pull, straight down. So this thing is going to end up going down into this zone right here. From there, where is it going to go? I've got some big money sitting down here waiting for it. That every single one of these guys is throwing down 6 figures or more on Matic. So that is where we're at with Matic. Now I'm not gonna trash. That's a pretty aggressive drop, by the way. So some of these guys are just Hail Mary calls, but I'm quite confident telling you that green one might be the best, depending on how you look at it. I would be most comfortable telling you right about there at this point in time at about 55 cents is where I see it going for the time being, and I'll reassess when, not if, when we hit this zone. I'll be comfortable telling you what I see after this because ISIS has to lay down some more AI lines and stuff. But I always got these big money guys that throw these Hail Marys on there. And this is based on if we went way over the chart, I mean way over the chart, we would find historical support and resistance. I don't think we can even go that far. Yeah, there it is right there. See, we're right. We're working right within that area for a reason. So that's not something I would be suggesting or recommending anybody jump in on a price like that because that's a little bit of an aggressive hope to see Matic fall. What did I say that was? To the bottom line, 84%. I don't know that I feel too good about that, but 55, 60%, yeah, definitely. Now loop ring, that's brings up a good point. Loop ring, I like loop ring. Loop ring's a layer 2 thing. We talked about it in crypto chat, Monday night crypto chat with Red Bear. We talked about layer 2 solutions, and loop ring is one of them. Loop ring is one. We haven't covered an awful lot. I'm just not covering a lot of these outliers because, again, I don't want to give you guys a bunch of bullets and have you fill up my chat with questions on something when I'm going to tell you the same thing. Everything's going down. You know, what about loop ring? What about it? It's going down. Everything's going down. And so when we start to go up, I'm going to start charting all of these things and giving the individual upring targets. You know, like loop ring and anchor, you know, we've spent a lot of time talking about loop ring and anchor. Right now, there's nothing to say. We got to watch Bitcoin. We got to watch XRP. We got to find the bottom, and then we can start zeroing in on some of these other things. But loop ring, I like loop ring. Now, this is an interesting chart because it depends on how much you stretch it. It's down now. This one's gonna get beat down some more. So here again we've got a move here that kind of begs to be played out somewhere. And if I were to just take that and set it ultimate high to right there, that puts us right there. I can't shrink that down anymore, but if we were to put a channel across this just on a slow diagonal drag, well, let's see what I can probably do here. That's what I suspected. Okay. So let me there it is. Okay. So I'm pardon me, I'm just having a discussion with myself here. I'm trying to okay, there we go. There it is. All right, so if we're playing right through the middle, beautifully, actually, playing through the middle. So if this thing is to dive, it's going to dive right down to that line. 15.6. Let me go ahead and put a marker on here for you guys that are blind and can't see what I'm doing. Basically 15.7. That's about where the next move, not the bottom. That's just where the next move is going to be. That's about a 32% drop. Realistically, I expect it to be down here probably sub 10 cents. That's probably the ultimate destination. I don't see any other reason to go any lower than that, but sub 10 cents would put you dropping from where we're at now 58%. That's about the percent move I'd expect to see. So somewhere probably realistically here again, green AI line or AI line and a Fibonacci line, right in that neighborhood right there is probably about where you're going to end up bouncing off of or visiting. Move that over there. All right. Now, looping, with all these things, looping is, do you want to own this for 3-4 years? No, I don't. So basically, you just have to decide which one of these buggers is going to run the highest, the hardest, and the fastest. I know the answer to that because I'm actually looking at it right on my screen right now, but I'm not going to give it away for free on YouTube. That's what Anubis does. Anubis is our newest bot. That basically what it does is it's a horse race predictor. It takes all the statistical analysis of rises and falls and historical performance and percent gains and stuff like that, and it calculates the odds across every single horse in the race and says this horse has the best chance for going the highest, the fastest, the furthest, blah, blah, blah. And this horse ain't even in the race. It'll do well, but again, it's a matter of putting your money on the fastest pony. All right, so let's go back and take a look at Bitcoin here. So you guys that are new to the live stream, you're kind of drifting in the middle of my ramblings here. Again, my name is RB. I'm from the unfairadvantage.chat. That's our free Discord. We'd love to have you join us. We do these things all the time. This is our free Discord where we have price predictions, group chat, group crypto therapy on every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And if you'd like to get subscribed to these charts that I'm using, these very special charts with all the Unfair Advantage grid and all the AI built into them and all the predictors, if you'd like to be able to have something that you can believe in, if you're tired of flushing your money on stupid buys because you don't know what the market's doing, you're taking guesses, your guesses suck, and you need better guidance, we'd love to be the guidance that you need. So join us at the unfairadvantage.chat, and of course you can subscribe to any of the number of packages that are available at fibicharts.com. All right, so getting back to Bitcoin. That's my 1 hour chart. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 6 hour here one more time. I do want to take a look at the 1 hour. I haven't been spending much time on it, or the 15 minute. So I honestly expect tomorrow to be the day, guys. I expect tomorrow to show us something. I know that's about as vague as I could possibly make it. Between now and as I said, between now and about what I say, the 24th, 25th, I think that the ultimate last drop of blood is going to be squeezed out by then. I really honestly do. This is, at this point in time, I think that because what have we been? Almost damn near 2 months of this. And they just can't keep doing this to us, month after month after month. And I understand it's the summertime, the doldrums, not as many people into crypto, and whatever markets just are. But they can't keep a market suppressed like this and have people be interested in being a part of it and stuff like that. So we're going to see a turnaround here fairly soon, I suspect. There's the coming together of a lot of things is going to start happening here pretty darn quick. There was a nice call right there. There's something I see. It's been 3 months. Yeah, you lose. Time flies when you're having fun, right, Zach? Okay, so if we're looking at this purely on TA's merit, that is a bull flag, which would take us, lo and behold, right to the double AI and Fibonacci line, right there. So that's the likely target. What's likely to have happen is we're likely to hit this, rebound off this, maybe wick up in there, and then come back and get with the program, and then possibly continue on down, something like that. So that's the expected move. It's nothing more than a spit in the bucket, but that's just kind of the interesting move that should happen. Now we'll see if it happens or not, but that would play out as like a fake. And give people some false hope. But if you go back and you really look at the broader narrative and you really zoom out on this, you still have to kind of look at it like, what does it ultimately mean? Well, ultimately it doesn't mean anything because we're still, if we want to go sideways on it, I mean, we can go clear up here and we still haven't done anything. We're just in that you could almost call accumulation from a Bitcoin standpoint. I mean, that really we're just in a sideways channel. It doesn't feel like a sideways channel when you're all zoomed in on it on the 15-minute. But the truth of the matter is, it's exactly what it is. So we are ready to go down to the next level down. Gummy, you're asking a question that, what you have there, not bad statically, but ask yourself, what's Reef going to do? I'm a tremendous Theta fan, but I got to be real and I got to say, all right, well, we all know, Theta's got it going on. It really does. But I know the financial world. I know the way these people work. I know the money that's involved in Theta, or not in Theta, in Reef, and I know what the powers that be have planned for it. And that's just me, not you. But so when I look at the percent gains, and it always gets down to percent gains, I look at Theta. I really, my master plan was to get out of XRP to get into Theta. Things have changed for me on considerably. I've had some issues that have come to pass, but nonetheless, I won't get into that. But the original move was to let XRP moon, throw over into Theta, ride it up to the thing, and then get to the next coin, which we have not even begun to talk about. That we're going to be bringing to the platinum and diamond group the end of this year. None of you guys probably know about. And it's going to be one that's going to change the world. And so we're going to be talking about that here later on. But right now, we'll just kind of keep that on the back burner. So what I ask myself now is I look at Theta. Yes, I'll go ahead and look at Ocean. I'm sorry I didn't do that. I'm looking at Theta and yeah, I want to get Theta at $2. I really, really do because I'm pissed. I had a chance to buy Theta at $2 forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And then the goddamn thing took off and went to $16. I'm like, well, son of a bitch. So I missed it. Here we are back, possibly barking on the door at $2, and it's like I'm getting a second chance at it. And now I'm looking and go, do I really want to buy it? Because I could buy Reef, and Reef is going to smoke it. It's going to smoke it. If Reef goes up, and if I just cannot live without Theta, if you understand the mathematics of acceleration. If Reef goes and does like a 55 to 60x in the time that Reef is or that Theta is going up, whatever, and even if I could buy Theta at $100, but Reef is going up like ungodly amounts, who cares? Who cares? But the point being is, do I even want to own Theta? Because Theta going from $2 to $3,500 is nowhere close to the multiples of Reef going from a penny to $3.36. Follow what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's all about the money, the percent gains. It's all that matters. Don't give a damn if it's what it's attached to. I'm after the percent gains. Although solidity and dependability is, something to be said for that. But you always the first question in your mind, when you're buying this coin is, how is it going to do stacked up against everything else? And if you don't feel 100%, and I'm going to throw you guys a bone. Ha ha, yes, I understand the irony of that. I'm going to throw you guys a bone and say, Shiba, despite all my trash talking, despite all my ribbing that I give you guys, would be a coin that would have a better probability of moonshotting and giving you higher rate of returns than Theta. Enough said on that. That's all the adulation you're going to get out of me on Shiba. I have to maintain my posture of hate against. No, the truth be told, guys, is that's the reality. I do think that Theta is going to be a good thing. I do think that if you own it, there's certainly nothing wrong with owning it. And definitely if you get another chance to get it back in the $2.50 range. But, the time value is great. Really, honestly, anything, time value only comes into conversation when we talk about a shitcoin like Digibyte, which just isn't doing anything. Everything that you buy is going to have great time value of return on time value of money here shortly over the next 2, 3, 4 years. It's all going to do great. You're going to look like a friggin' financial genius. But the truth of the matter is we're here to stack pennies on top of pennies, dollars on top of dollars. And, at the end of the day, it's not, I got a pretty shiny little meme coin, or I've got a coin that everybody knows the name of. I don't give a crap. You can't go buy bread with that. You can't buy yourself a nice car. You can't put a roof. You can't send your kids to a nice school. You can't survive based upon any of that stuff. At the end of the day, it's percent gains. Take one thing and turn it into as many multiples of that thing as fast as possible is the name and the rules of the game. Bottom line. Okay. All right. Well, it's about 9 o'clock here, so I kind of want to knock off a little bit. My voice is starting to give out. I'm going to take a look at this mic, see if I can see what's up and what's doing with this thing, get this thing back on point. So, you guys, been fun. Sorry, I had kind of a slow week and haven't had a chance to really get out there. So, again, you guys that are new to the broadcast, we'll be doing this probably 3 times a week. I try to stay on 3 times a week, but I'm a busy boy. So, busy boy. So we will be coming back again here probably, what day is it today? Tuesday. Should have done this yesterday. I kind of fell off. Today's Wednesday. So we'll be doing probably a Friday. And if all hell breaks loose, of course, obviously I'll be doing a broadcast if on a need be basis. But generally we like to do these on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, sometimes on Sunday. But you can pretty much count on me being online here Friday or Saturday, so for sure. But until then, thank you very much for joining me at the Crypto Treehouse. My name is Red Baron, and we'd like to see you over at the unfairadvantage.chat. So until next time, kids, be safe, be good, and be good at it. Peace and hair grease, baby.